Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to DPL. It's playoffs time, and I'm not joined by fellow today, but Rev is on the
Howdy.
desk with me. What's up? Yeah, how you feeling?
DPL Season 4, GB versus LCG, casting with Box
Okay,
C,
okay.
best of three.
Best of three. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so like you said, GP versus LCG. This is the first game of the playoffs. The second one you're actually playing in, so I can't ask you for predictions because obviously they are going to be biased. But you guys are going up against Yakuza. So you have
hmm
just a second. Do you want to take us through that before we focus on the matchup at hand?
We'll focus on the Yakuza game coming up after this.
Yeah, just give me like we have a few seconds to spare. Just your thoughts going
Yeah.
into that, and then we'll focus on our GB LCG game.
I
So,
hate playing against Europeans. That's my opinion on that.
well, I certainly hope you don't hate casting with Europeans, but LCG versus Yakuza. Sorry, LCG versus GB. What are your predictions?
There's no question that GB takes this match. But realistically, what we want to do as casters is look at not just how they're going to win, but the steps that they took to get there. And I think there's going to be a lot of information that we can extract from what GB does and how they play. And
Okay,
honestly, what I'm more interested in seeing is how many more rounds LCG can take now compared to what they could have taken maybe 2 months ago.
that's definitely a thing to keep your eye on. And I gotta be honest. Before this season, I would have just said 7-0, 7-0. And I've seen them play this season. I've seen them play against Gnomes specifically. I think they 7-2 Gnomes, which was like the biggest upset of the season. So I do think that LCG could get a few rounds on the board, but I gotta agree with you. Overall, it goes to global breakout. And I was playing a casual right before this, and I randomly queued into Argo on my team. I asked him for predictions, and he said 7-0, 7-0. So I'm quoting him on it.
Yeah.
If
What he
things.
didn't tell you is he meant 7-0 for LCG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's
Possible,
that's the key.
probable.
I mean, in the last LCG game, which I was casting, what we saw was LCG not being able to take a single attack round. They went 0-3. They went to defense. They took 6 rounds of defense in a row against Gnomes. To me, that's not really about their ability on defense, but that is going to determine if they can get an initial round. If they get defense first, I think they're going to be a lot more comfortable um, picking up rounds throughout the game. But if they do get the 6 defender rounds in a row as well, they might be able to pick up a few there. But really, I don't realistically see them taking many attack rounds against GB because of how GB plays. That GB plays together so well around green doors, especially. I think they're going to shut down all the LCG split pushes that they like to do. LCG is
Okay. Well,
notorious for that.
agreed. Our lobby started, our team's queued, and I'm just gonna ask you before we load in final score predictions, just at least game one.
7-2 GB.
7-2 GB. Okay, I gotta agree with you there. I think, something between 7-1 and 7-3 is realistic. 7-2 probably the sweet spot. But we have Toxic, Lando, Admiral, Crunchberry, Kuko, and Lind on the side of LCG. And I'll let you know about the GB player as soon as we load in, because we're in loading
On
screen.
GB, we've got Plebdo, Ender, Argo, Dylan, and who am I missing? I
Who
missed
are you
one.
missing?
I
I don't know.
thought I could
I,
get
I
the
was just
last
gonna
one.
read them off. I was just gonna read them off and then went into the loading screen for like 3 minutes because
You can
this
read
is
them
due
during the
process
load
after all.
screen, but my game froze, so I franked myself there. Oh,
Okay.
in fact, my game fully crashed.
Oh, okay. Well,
Take it
due
away.
process moment. On Global Breakout, we have Ikazo, Dylan, Argo, Ender, Plebtho. So a few subs in. Dylan, Ender not on the starting lineup, but we've seen them be plenty capable. Dylan on Katura and before that Gnomes and Ender or Render, whatever you want to call him. He's been putting in work every now and then whenever he needed to sub in. First up though is gonna be C Store, and I assume your game isn't back yet.
No, it's not.
Okay, well I guess I'll speak about it and you'll correct me later on. I'm nervous about embarrassing myself in front of you, but we'll see. We'll see. It's one of those random regular C stores with a huge storefront, and then everything else just being like small rooms with twists and turns. You can either blow shed or from shed into storage rather, or into office. I think office is probably the more feasible push here. If you end up going for a blow, green bathroom, huge funnel, but if you can manage to actually push through a bathroom into freezer into storefront, then I think you're in a pretty good disposition. We do see the attackers playing
Yeah.
around with the wall charge on storefront.
Yeah, I think a Walter storefront here is pretty viable. Another thing to point out is that the green push here through freezer is actually very, very safe. If you look at the map, you've got an initial
Hmm.
bathroom with a lot of cover from these stalls and a doorway, which they're not really going to be played because the cross is all the way from a deep storage angle, so you're going to have an immediate bathroom take behind freezer, and with the freezer shelves in the way, it's really easy to get into fridges, and from there you have a lot of pressure coming into the north side of storefront, while the bulk of the pressure is coming from this south side. So realistically, what you want to do on attack in these games is take half of the map. GB takes it very well, so they're going to be taking this half of the map right here in this little triangle, this little cheese wedge I just drew. So hopefully you can see that on stream, but freezer, storefront, bathroom I think is going to be what they take. That's all you need to win this round anyway. You can lock him with tellers, and it'll be pretty safe. They're taking one Black Tar and one Saber here, and I like to see that Kazo does not have a flashbang on him, which offers a lot of room for Argo and Plebdo to take these picks, but take it away.
I mean, I find it really interesting that Lin is on the map on this, you know, kind of close quarters C-store, at least if you ignore storefront. He was playing in freezer earlier, which was even more interesting because, like you pointed out, that's a likely point of contention early on in the round. He relocated into back of storefront now, and he is going to be contesting the breach. Wow. Instead, he got tagged up just a little bit initially. Yeah, well, Ikazo 1 HP, Argo also very low ender, took just a little bit of damage, so I guess
look at Plebdo.
Theory, global breakout Ara on the back with Plebdo that, like you said, pushes in. Argo will fall, but Ender gets another one. That's 2 for Plebdo. In the round, it's all up to Admiral and Toxic. The plus just went out. The Flesser just coming out. It's all going to be up to Toxic with the net and the molly in the pocket. Doesn't connect his shots onto Plebdo. Plebdo now with an AK in hand. Bomb is being tapped. Not much you can do there. Nope. Nope.
What on earth? Oh, no. I have some thoughts about this round already.
Yeah, okay.
This is something that Plebdo does extraordinarily well, and I want people to watch every movement of every muscle that he makes whenever he plays on the rounds like this. Watch how he got into freezer, right? Because what you expect is what I said, right, which is a bathroom take into behind the freezer shelves, but instead you saw some pressure and some noise coming from there, and then just that little opening that Plebdo saw, he was able to run right through freezer and just walk in from the storefront. You realize what Plebdo does really well and why he gets away with so much is that he identifies holes in your push better than any other player in the game. And that's why he always gets top damage, because he hits his shots and he's very clean and very tidy in all the rest of his kills. But what gives him the opening for all those kills is that he can find a hole in your plan. And the hole in that plan was that no one was watching to Kuko's left side, which would have been that little sliver of storefront that leads into the freezers. So they didn't actually have that covered at all.
Yeah, I think another thing Pablo does extremely well is just hold the left mouse button. I think that's what, you know, really pushes him through.
He holds down the shoot button?
The shoot button. That's what
he does shoot
extremely
a lot.
well.
I can agree with that.
I don't know. It wasn't my match, but someone pointed out last time GB was playing last week on stream. Apparently, he was on 20 bullets left in his AK in like the first 25 seconds somehow. So.
Oh yeah.
That's just a Plebdo thing. But Kill House, what do you think about this one?
This Kill House offers some cool stuff in the hallway, especially because of the courtyard angles. You have windows that cut across the courtyard, so you've kind of cut this map into 4 quarters here, right through the courtyard windows. You get a little bit of stuff through these like weirder angles through these windows, but mostly you're going to have a north-south kind of split. LCG identifies that, and they choose to barb the lockers out, which means that they actually want to be holding bomb via hallway. But GB will know that, and the moment that GB sees that there's no barb here, or they get towards site and see this barb, they know where to put the rest of their force. They know that they need to push out hallway. I don't know where they're going to go initially. It looks like they want to go for a reception take through office, because reception's pretty hard to actually hold as defense. So this reception is going to be free for GB to take into office so that they can blow out one of the barbed wires and maybe nade the second one. They are actually choosing to nade probably deep right here to kill someone on the flank as they come into bomb site, and then try and just push past the barb and get on the bomb. And if you can long arm it, then I think you're pretty much safe from the south side, but we'll see if Admiral can still pick up at least a pick or some damage playing hallway.
Yeah. So on this Kill House, specifically with the courtyard and the quarters that you pointed out, on attack, you would say roam clear is extremely important, because all of these angles can bite you in the rear later on in the round. And on defense, it's just super important that you know what your teammates are holding and when they're falling back, so that you don't get shot again from across the map, right? I think that's the biggest of things to keep in mind.
I think that's right, yeah. I'm a little annoyed here. Like, Lind takes this early fight, and he just goes for wall bangs, doesn't do any damage, but takes a lot of damage in return. That was a very unsafe play here that didn't really reward them at all.
It's one of those high-risk, high-reward plays. You know, sometimes they pan out, sometimes they don't. We'll see what happens. Dylan, though, he's going to be holding the flank in reception. Everyone else is just through lockers.
There's the nade out. That will concuss Toxic, I believe. A good molly, but Admiral needs to get ready.
way too deep though, and didn't get rid
Where
of
is
the
Admiral
which is the
going?
hugest problem. Ender gets one Kuko on the refresh though. Pulls back now, but Toxic Swing
Holy.
gets 1 and 2 with the auto. Now it's all falling apart for GB. Dylan will have to start getting aggressive there. Still up to him and Pleb to the clutch this one out. Still 2 flashes in Dylan's pocket. He can do massive work with that, but again, this barbed wire is just going to be a massive
Rando wins
problem.
the round. That's it. I mean, if they manage to flash out here, even then, as long as Lando's down in the hallway, they can push. Well done for Toxic there, for sure.
4 for Toxic. I mean, auto shotio bird. That's
Yeah, that was really
that's all
cool.
I've taken away from this round. Yeah, I mean, I feel like GB again. They threw a lot of utility in this upper left corner. It was the nade and I think 2 flashes. They didn't really use the nade for the barb or for anything else. So
Yeah,
I think that was the biggest problem there.
I agree with you. I disagree with that nade because what does that nade do that a flash doesn't, right? At the end of the day, you've got the walls that are all around that nade. I mean, who's going to be sitting in that doorway to eat that nade? And even if they're in the doorway and a nade comes at them, they have a doorway to leave through. So that nade is like a 1 in 100 that actually hits connects with something useful there. But the barbed wire would have been far better to deal with.
Well, we live and we learn, and we will continue living and learning on Bank. So, can you take me through this one?
Yeah, this bank is a very, very regular, straightforward bank where you've got a red door loans and you've got a green vents that splits into a manager. So your only vent exits are going to be in manager, which means that you're going to have to fight through this window or this doorway. But uniquely on this map, this dynamic here between manager and security is a lot more potent than on other maps. So defenders can do a lot of work from inside of security, swinging out. They can also play the manager with pixel peaks a little more. So I think they're going to be playing this accounting a little more aggressive. Another cool thing about this map is you can set up a barbed wire in vault. I don't agree with this barbed wire. I think it should be out here. And you can play from behind the bomb, and you can set up a crossfire, maybe even from tellers, to shoot through the x-ray machine. So if you set up a barbed wire right on the x-ray machine, you'll have a much better cross here, I think. But aside from that, I agree mostly with the barb setup here. I do agree with this manager one, even though it's flying around the map right now. I don't know who's not sure about that one yet. But of course, as usual with most banks, I think the entrance blow is the safest. And right now, GB needs to play safe because that last round was an experiment. It was, hey, let's take a door charge interior. We know it'll work, but let's use a nade in a weird way. It didn't work out. So already they're saying, you know what? We're not playing our main roster. We're not as comfortable. Let's just go with a lobby take. Lobby take is the way to go on bank in almost every case. The key here, though, is getting that button in tellers. And I don't see any knacks or anything that can penetrate this wall. So this is probably going to be a very soft button hold, and probably they're going to hold security more than they're holding button. I think they'll let them hit button and retreat into accounting and play a more vault hold than a button hold here.
Yeah, so LCG, they lost their mop on round 1, but they did recover the Saber. It's going to be Admiral playing it, contesting main early on, which is cool. You also see him just, playing on the edge of those roulettes or whatever you want to call them, so they can fall back into security whenever they need to, so I do like that. The one thing that I'm not the hugest fan of is having 2 people involved, because it does leave your team in, a 3-5 across the map, and it's going to be a fast manager events pushed by Argo and Pleb, though they're both already in security, and the rest of LCG, they're all just in hole. The main doors are now open, but literally the entire right side of the map has been cleared besides vault.
What am I watching? Admiral made the call to play for button instead, but didn't play behind the desk, forcing Kuko and Lando to take this fight.
Well, Lando gets one, Argo gets the second one, Lando will fall as well eventually.
That's it.
There we go. The 3 people that were actually in the map, not on the vault, they all died, and it's all up to Toxic and Lin to hold this for 1 minute and 15 seconds, which is just not something you can have happen. It does have the auto, but, well, I mean, Global Breakout should have at least some utility to deal with it. They actually don't, though, which is very surprising. No flashes, no anything. Lin did have another molly. I think he already threw it. Yep. Then you have to Toxic, and we can see how many kills he gets here. He does get 1. Can he make it 2? No, that's all he can get. That's all she wrote, I think.
Not the worst try, but again, a very baffling decision very early on. I really thought that Admiral would just play this entrance and try and go for a couple picks in case we didn't look at the ammo count. He had 8 shots in the Saber. That's 8 kills, okay? Like, if he hits his shots, he can get the 5 kills he needs, right? But realistically, he only needs 1 or 2. I mean, he can take 2 kills there, and that's good enough. And like you said, the really important thing there was he had the security to fall back into, but he got panicked really early and went right across lobby, pushed his own barb, and then sat in the middle of the hallway. I don't know what kind of call he got there, but he needed to play behind the Lone's desk. And when that smoke came out, all Kuko had to do, or whoever had a molly there, just had to put that on the barb, buy time for that smoke to dissipate, and then he can go back. Admiral can go back to using the saber on the barbed wire again. But that did not play
I
out the way they needed it to play out at all.
Yeah, I stress this out every time. I'm pretty sure Fel is getting tired of it, and probably the viewers as well. But I say this literally every time we see this huge vault commit. It feels like you divert way too many resources to vault, and then everyone else across the map on defense suffers because of it. And the only way that I'm really, the only times that I'm really a fan of having multiple people in vault is if it's one of those lobby vaults that you maybe even play open. Then I can justify having multiple people there because they can still rotate in and out freely.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of putting people in vault, almost period. I do think Yakuza does it a lot with Tommy. They'll have Tommy with double molly and a KR inside the vault and just put him behind the bomb itself, so he's pre-positioned and they won't play a hard hold on the button. And that kind of stuff works sometimes, so it's okay to do it if you know a little bit about how the map's going to play out and how they're going to push it. But in situations like what we just saw, you're playing with 2 people inside the vault. At that point, you're just going to lose the 3v5, and that's what we saw. They even lost like a 3v2, which was the saddest part, right? It was mostly just Argo and Plebdo taking those fights.
Yeah.
But that was just because I think Admiral didn't really pick up on where he needed to be right away. But
to be fair, if you're LCG there, if you're the 3 people playing across the map, you don't actually need to get those skills. You just need to stall for as long as you can. But they didn't do that. They all died in the first, 25 seconds?
They should get 2 picks at least, I think.
Yeah, but
like they should do something, right? And that's why I think the saber there was the right choice. It was, hey, you know what? We'll get 1 pick off the breach here, and then all of a sudden it was, no, we're just going to try and hold button now. It's like, you're not doing a button hold. You have 2 guys in the vault. Like, you're going to let them hit the button here. You need to be playing in accounting, but that was not what we saw at all.
Well, I think I've said we live and we learn after Kill House, and I think I'm going to keep saying this. I think LCG are just kind of experimenting, and like you said, GB not playing with our starting roster definitely hurting them. They're all, very experienced players individually, but you can tell that maybe they are not as broken in as they would be with their main roster.
Look at this green hold, though. They're like all poised at this freezer. This freezer door is closed, by the way, in case we're not seeing that right now. This freezer door is closed, but they're all right in front of it. Oh, Plebdo, look at that. Taking a bunch of damage, really.
I mean, Pleb doesn't need more than 1 HP. He just goes burr. Stormfront Breach does come out, though, so that could be a problem for him in case anyone decides to actually go from Stormfront into the bathroom. Pleb swings, takes off Lind, and well, his job is done. There we go. Admiral will refrag him, but given the fact that he started the round with 50 HP, I think he at least did something with, the remainder of his HP.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad at all. And considering the setup here, what I like here is Ender has a backup barb for Ikazo's retreat here, and honestly, playing this Fridges is really good.
The barb isn't coming out, though.
Full Fridges push, it looks like.
Yeah, if that barb went down, I think it would have been really well. Sadly, no. Storefront control, at least the bottom half, now relinquished to LCG, so is Freezer. Admiral still playing it pretty passively on the breach with the Saber as he probably should be. He starts pushing in, a lot of flashes are being chucked out. Argo and Dylan will need to start putting in work. Dylan probably going on the flank, just a sea of kills coming out. Admiral gets 1, Lando another one. It's actually a 3-1 right now. Bomb's being tapped. Dylan still has a molly in pocket, but with that Gruber, I'm honestly not sure if he can get all 3 kills he needs here.
All right, yeah. Kuko did something really, really good that round. So not only did he get a pick on Ender and Dylan, but he also put Ikazo down to 20 HP with a wall bang on the office doorway. You saw right away as soon as he approached middle storefront and they had Lind and Freezer, what he did is he flashed overhead, he ran in, and then he wall banged the office door immediately because he knows that Ikazo, if he's fleeing, is fleeing through office. So that worked really well, and it put Ikazo down to 20 HP, and it made that pickup very, very easy for Lando to finish. So that was very well played from Kuko.
You pointed out how Ender was playing with EK there for the pullback barb, but when they got flashed out, they didn't place it, which I think was a huge deterrent there.
Yeah, it was. If they just cut off Lind, I think, and then they fell back into office, they could probably push back out and retake with like a pre-fire on the barb at Freezer and maybe pick off Kuko and maybe even Lind, and then they'd be okay.
Our 7-2 prediction is, barely hanging on by a thread at the moment.
I'm happy either way, man.
I'm happy as well, man. Yeah. I get that, but our prediction's not that right. What do you think GB do here, though? We've seen them attack this. How will they defend it?
I think we will see more aggression in reception, and as I say that, the mob comes down. I think you've got a lot of cool bundles of wood here, these 2x4s and whatnot that they can sit behind. So you might have other players sitting back here supporting the retreat. You might even have someone playing a pretty tricky wall bang or something through reception. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 3 people start reception. They're looking for some funny angles here. I don't know if this one does exist. I don't think it does because I'll fly in and I'll go to fly cam here, but I'm pretty sure this angle that
Okay.
they're theorizing through
No,
these
no,
windows in
no.
courtyard is
No, no.
not going to work.
No, no, look at it. It
Yeah, it's
curves,
not
like
going
it
to work.
literally curves. It's, yeah.
Yeah, there's not even a
Um,
pixel just to double check, but
if anyone's gonna be playing behind these wooden stacks, I bet it's gonna be Argo though, or like something ready. That's
yeah,
such an Argo moment. I would love to see that. So I'm honestly not sure. I think it'd go either way.
you might
It's
even have
definitely gonna
someone be
be.
playing like right close here, I think, and just swing outside
Mhm.
after the mop shot, and then try and get the pick, and then run back through the barb here. And honestly, that run back is safe enough through the bulletproof, so you're probably going to be okay to do that. I'm more interested in where these barbs are ending up because there's a lot of discussion right now from both teams about this barb. We see Kuko drawing it, Andy Kazo drawing it in the same spot. So we know that they probably want a barb here, but then again, that's your kitchen rotate to the bomb. So if you do barb this, you're kind of stuck playing the hallway long into lockers. And if two people are on bomb site at that time, you're going to have a guy behind the bomb playing the head glitch and trading out into the guy in hallway with whoever's defusing. So I see some commentary about this barb. I don't know. That's Kuko talking for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure the barber's actually getting placed down. Dylan with the Ingmar gonna be holding long angles in kitchen, maybe even contesting the windows later on. We have seen, I think it was Lendo or Lin, one of the two, playing the same thing with the AK, just lost most of their HP early on. But
Yeah.
it's actually not gonna be an aggressive hold.
I see. So they stole the barb from Ender and placed it through the wall to try and clip
Yeah.
the barb into there. That's amazing.
Well, LCG, they are putting in work. They have already established control of reception. They're slowly pushing through office. The kick on the door comes through as well. It's going to be Kuko watching the flank. Maybe not. No flank watch established. Never mind. Which means the flanks could be even more deadly. Argo's in a position to do so. So is Pleb. The wallbangs are coming out.
Doing
There
work.
we go.
He's already but like even if he dies there, look at the damage he dealt across the board. It's significant. And Argo's gonna get a pick here off of the knack wallbang, 100%, because it's such a choke point right here.
Yeah, there's no one on the hold though to contest these angles into lockers, which I think is a huge mistake. Toxic gets Dylan as well.
That's Ikazo's job late round right here. With the mock. He's gonna peek this bomb.
It may be too little too late though.
Oh, he
so long
misses!
to rotate there. Yep. Ender
find the
though
head.
missing a few wall bangs as well, and now everyone LCG is kind of low there. There we go. Ender gets one. Ikazo falls as well. Bomb still being kept there. Lin will find Ender.
Okay, that. Okay, hold on. This is gonna come down to can Ikazo save the mop, which I believe he can. He can easily hide in kitchen here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, anywhere in this corner. But wow, I think Argo blundered that one. Like he had such a perfect wallbang here. They didn't need this. They didn't charge this. He knew that the barb in office would just sit there, and he didn't even try to wallbang that. He went for kind of a wide spray, and then they just pushed, and he didn't reload by then. So
yeah, I'm
not
not
enough
sure if
done
that
by him.
was not sure if that was intentional by LCG, but I also saw that. It was like Argo was wallbanging something, and then they pushed through the barb on the reload. I'm not sure if it was like, hey, he's reloading, let's push through, or if it was just
Should
like
have been a
timing.
molly. You need to have the molly lined up so that when the molly comes out, Argo's reloading, and then he has the second wallbang. Like in most cases, Argo would have gotten a lot of damage or a couple kills there, but after they pushed through, he kind of panicked and he opted for a wallbang towards the bomb, which was a lot more sketchy because not only are you risking now hitting your teammate, you're also just shooting into a wide room as opposed to a choke point, and that's just not going to be as effective. It was a good try, though, I think. I'm very impressed. It's 3-2 for LCG at this point, so happy to eat my words on the 7-2 prediction of GB. I think that them not playing their main roster is obviously a component of that, but I think just getting that early round, like I said earlier with LCG, that's what they needed, right? What they needed was an early round. I didn't think they'd get an early round. They did, and now they're kind of rolling off of that that momentum that they just picked up.
I'm absolutely surprised by how well LCG are playing as well. There's obviously some mistakes being made, but it's nothing too huge, and they've been able to capitalize off of GB's mistake, which is even more important in such a variable-filled game like processes. So I'm just glad I don't bet channel points on the matches that I cast because, I'd be nervous.
I think GB makes the comeback here no problem. I mean, Plebdo's playing at a high ping, so he has to kind of play even more aggressive than usual. Is that possible? I don't think it might. It might not be possible for him to play more aggressive than usual, but he is playing at a very high ping, and maybe there's some other elements like that moving around, moving parts that we don't know about. But if we look at this map, already Ikazo has taken the pistol, shooting at all the blue light panels that are inside of tellers to make it extra dark. Pretty common for him to do that because he wants to get this early pick and hide his head and be really obscured inside of tellers to try and get some early damage. Kazo, I'm curious about his mop ammo. I don't see it right now, but I imagine he only took a few shots here so that he can focus.
Yeah,
No, he took a solid 6 shots. So that's That is very, very ballsy. I think that the intention of this is that Argo and Ender are going to give him a lot of space here so he can keep taking their shots, but never
Well,
mind.
nope.
Oh
Nope.
my god, it's a disaster.
Lynn did take a lot of
Maybe not.
damage. She's on 15
No.
HP. Plebdo will refrag, so it is technically
Wow.
a 4v2 at the moment.
Hey, he'll get the
I mean,
mop here, I think, too. Yeah.
great capitalization there.
Oh,
Plebdo on
that's
the mop.
hilarious.
Very, very dangerous, but I don't know. I think this is around for GB. I think we're going to the second half tied, but
Yeah,
Kuko
it
and Lendo,
looks
they
like
could
it.
still put in some work. They could. I don't think anything lost. They still have 85 seconds to work with. Unlikely, yes, but doable. Probably. There we go. Kuko finds the first one. Pleb's going to be contesting the same angle. He misses the shot, so does Kuko, at least for now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the battle of those snipers on main, honestly. Lando will
Oh,
push it
nice.
behind, and he will get
Wow.
one. He will get two. It's all up to Pleb, though. And now he needs to make a decision. Will he stick to the mop, which, it deals a lot of damage,
If
but it also takes
Lando...
forever to reload?
Wow.
Or...
I mean, Lando has to kick here either way, so Plebdo will be alerted. But this is going to come down to Kuko's flashbang right now. Like, he needs to flash for Lando. That kick just happened. Pleb doesn't hear it.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh. Kuko, flash him.
A lot of damage. He did pick up the AK again, and the flash will outflash him because the doors are in the way. A few wall bangs here and there, but nothing connects just yet. He's being pushed out. He finds Lando. Can he make it too? He's reloading instead of using the pistol. Could be a mistake. 25 HP. Yeah. Race fire doesn't hit the shots, and it's actually a 2v4 clutch for LCG to take it 4-2 in the first half. Oh my god. Well, I bet all of you are all nervous about your channel points.
That was incredible. Holy cow. Well done to Lando there. That was impeccable. Picking off Argo and just following it through all the way to the end. Wow, that was amazing. Kuko is a phenomenal player, and finally I think he's comfortable with a team that he can actually just play the roles he needs to be playing. There was a little while where he was not having a blast and not finding his niche, but I mean, right there, he was just staying alive. His movement is very, very good, and I didn't get to see exactly what he was pulling off there, but dodging that many shots in a row from Plebdo was pretty impressive regardless. I mean, Plebdo is not a bad shot with that mop at all, right? So that was definitely very impressive from Kuko.
I just turned on our Twitch chat, so I have no clue what the discussion was before, but I see people arguing already, so
Perfect. That's ideal.
chaos ensued. Hell yeah. Well,
yeah.
Keep in mind, this is a best of 3. We switched to
the likely suspects in a Twitch chat. If there was arguing, it'd be from them, so that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, Operation Rogue Pawn. This is a pretty cool dome map. I like it because it's got a really unique bomb placement that I think is generally, it doesn't have too much of an impact on the round, but there's always this potential, and the potential I'm talking about is this jungle ruins down here. Actually, it watches bomb, and they're just drawing that right now as well. You have a lot of stuff that watches bomb late round, but all the stuff that watches bomb is controlled from jungle. So the attackers do want to have some aggression towards jungle, but if they do that, and it's hard called that the blow is going to happen observation, then defenders can actually position up in jungle and even position a rat somewhere below. And if you do that, you end up with this crossfire where you're watching below jungle and you have a guy, again, somewhere ratting. And I can point at a few spots. You could be playing down here in base. You could be playing in the grass right here. You could be playing under the stairs, behind the rock, maybe tucked in the water down here, somewhere towards log. You could have a lot of places where a guy could be playing. So there's kind of a big wild card with this jungle. The second aspect of this map that's a lot less wild cardy and a lot more structured and simple is this long lane that's right through observation towards the stairway. And because you have a stairway watching into obs, that's a very powerful Ingmar or even mop position where, again, you're going to have probably a second barbed wire here and just playing off of that. And that's going to be kind of your win condition for this general sort of take where they're going to be blowing into obs and taking straight through obs to bomb. Though, yeah, I'll just wrap up by saying that we see Ender in this position. What I'm curious about is how GB will play off of Ender's position, right? Will Plebdo play a second rat spot, or will Dylan be expected to play his crossfire from ruins? That's going to be what I want to watch this round to see how GB figures that out.
I definitely want to see what Ender does there as well. But this is the only dome that I've seen with 2 red doors technically in jungle. Like both of these are under jungle. So
that's true. Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Interesting.
I mean, I do consider the one next to obs essentially, and it is technically ruins. It's on a ruins.
Yeah, they're both
tile right below
technically
it, but-
ruins. Like this one is a knobs breach, and this one is a pit breach more than
Yeah,
anything.
but they're both
but they're
jungle, which
both
is funny.
technically in jungle.
It's a good observation. Ah, I didn't mean the pun.
No, observation is the one below. We just established that.
That's right. Excellent. Actually, I'm very curious about Ender's positioning here. He's opting to stand up in the grass, so they probably will see him, but maybe not expect the angle right away. Plebdo as well. Plebdo and Ender are both poised for the observation push, so honestly, LCG just needs to be fast about this.
Flashes are coming out of control. It's being established. There's gonna get the entry. Kaza is gonna fall soon back, so it is a 4v4. But Argo, look at his HP. Ender also takes a little bit of damage. So this Toxic still a bunch of utility in the pocket. Admiral with the Saber will have to put in a lot of work. Lando will finish off Ender. So again, GB is on the back foot, and again, Argo, yes, he does have the Saber, but look at his HP. He's super low.
Yeah,
One shot, and he.
Toxic smoke grenade here is really all he needs, because right now Dylan's the only retreat. Smoke came out very poorly there. He should have gone for a ricochet. There's no reason to risk that against a mop when he knows that this head glitch is going to be so powerful.
Yeah, well, Argo, he is being pre-fired at.
Plebdo, look at Plebdo. Caught the flank, but didn't manage to pick up a kill.
Then we'll take Argo down, but Lando is refragged by Dylan. So again, we're in a 1v3, or sorry, 2v2 instead.
Yeah, so look at observation, right? Plebdo's behind the black wall. He doesn't actually have observation intel going towards Lynn, so Lynn has to find Dylan, which he does.
Well, it's a 1v2 again. Whenever we've seen this before.
Perfect! Wow, they played that so... I've never seen LCG play this well. This is incredible. Admiral picks up on the fact that he can play back in ruins. Someone makes that call. Lynn crouches down, has full confidence that Admiral can cover him, and he does. Again, I disagree with fundamentally having the flashbang on the Saber. That could have been even more clean if they had the flashbang on somebody else going observation or some such. But or maybe he picked it up on the way. I didn't quite catch that. But either way, that was utility unused, and that was still an incredibly clean round. That was really, really impressive.
I want to talk about Admiral for a second. I feel like he was one of the weaker Saber players in the league, especially when I watched like and casted the major and the
that's fair.
But I feel like I've seen him throughout like this season of DPL, and I've seen him make so many smart positioning choices with the mop that I was really just taken aback on how someone improved so much in such short time. Especially
we don't even know that. I'm not even going to say that, because we might be crediting him for something that someone else on the team is doing better too. Someone might be making better death call out. Someone might be doing better IGLing. We don't know that, right?
Maybe, but
it might be that maybe he was just uncomfortable before, and someone just told him, "Hey, take this position and you'll win it." And he is taking those now. It could be him. It could be the team. But for now, because we have to just give them the benefit of the doubt, it's a team effort. As a team, they figured out how to use the Saber a lot better in general, and it's been swapping hands between Kuko and Admiral as well, which I think is a good idea. Obviously, you want someone who's going to use it all the time, but I think in this specific team, in this instance, it's working. So I like to see that.
I don't know if you were watching the games last week, but when I was casting LCG, I think Admiral had another standout game. Like there were just so many rounds where I've just seen amazing positioning by him. Yes, it could be someone IGLing or even micromanaging him, but just it's such a night and day difference from what we've seen before this season that I still want to give him a lot of credit here. Also, Sachi pulled up in chat, said, "Holy shit, my lunch break from this work training may just line up perfectly with map 2." So it is possible, it is likely even that we see a roster change for game 2. Because,
maybe. Yeah.
Keep in mind, this is a best of 3. We're guaranteed to see at least 2 maps, if not 3. And honestly, if GB managed to get another player in, maybe sub someone out in game 2, I think they take game 2, because Sachi's on their starting roster. That means one left sub to play with. And it could very well be going to a 3-mapper. You may not have time to go for a warm-up scrim like we, joked about before this match started.
Okay, so I did just pull up the stats, but I wanted to point out a couple things about that. But I will take a brief look at this map. Again, not uncommon. We have Plebdo and Argo playing the server farm green hold. Highly aggressive. Let's take it away here with Plebdo's positioning and how much damage he's going to do here.
I definitely like the aggression early on. He gets one, goes for a second swing. He is shut down, but the damage has been dealt. Lynn's also extremely low. Ikazo follows up with another one, and Argo is there as well. Kuko will find Ikazo, but Argo can still put in a lot of work. Lynn low HP, Kuko at about 50. It's all up to Lando. He's the only one with full HP. Technically, he's a 3v3.
Argo just picked up a gun in the middle of Kuko running in. I don't know if he knows that Kuko's in.
Oh no.
Oh, he
Oh,
knows now. He knows now.
he's definitely hurt now. Yep, there you go. Goes
Oh,
for a
wow.
swing, finds the
Hold
first
on to
one.
Argo.
Linda's still there with the saber. Will Argo actually make this work somehow? He does need to reload. He does exactly that. Sprints into Lando, barely misses a shot. The shots have been missed regardless. It's a 2v2 once again. Dylan's playing very far back with the Lagros, and Ender now has to make a decision. Do I barb this? Do I play this close? Do I play this far? Well, given the fact that you have an Ingmar, I would play this far, and that is exactly what he seems to be doing. No barb thrown out just yet.
Yeah.
And he's been holding on to those late barbs for too long throughout this match. The Bull Charge will come out, and so will the flashes. Dylan will fight in one, but they now know where the other one is. He's tapping the bomb. The molly goes shallow, doesn't quite connect. The wallbangs are coming out, and Lando is a little bit of damage. Ender pushes in.
I don't know. I feel like Lando gave up that round. I feel like he did. Honestly, they had enough time to rethink that round. I don't agree that they should have committed to this wall charge the way they did. I think what would have been a lot smarter in a 2v2 scenario is to go for a top floor wall charge. So they wall charge the same position but up top, and they have the saber sitting on the server rack, and he's just cutting off the north end of the map so that Ikazo can't rotate out of office. And then you just have Lando taking a 1v1 with Dylan, I believe. And that would have been a much different round. And them opting for the rush doesn't make sense, because in a 2v2, even in a 3v3, defenders have an advantage, not attackers. You can't do that spill out kind of wall charge rush to bomb kind of play if you don't have enough units to work with, right? If you're only in a 2v2, it's fundamentally worse for you to be pushing out of a wall charge that's down below. You want to play to the strengths of the utility that you have, and what they had was a saber, right? They used the saber incorrectly there. They used it to try and support a push that no one was there to push with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Also, Chad is saying, a team is doing well when Revenant is impressed. So,
Yeah, I'm very
you know,
critical because a lot of people are just happy with how people play, but it's like, I'm not the best player, but I'm critical of myself, and I think it's important that we're critical of each other because this is a tiny community. We don't have
yeah,
a lot of people to work with to learn from each other. So when we look at mistakes, it's like we have to be honest about them, right? Because we're held to so much more accountability. We have to
absolutely.
look
And
at these mistakes and learn from them together.
when you're on the casting desk, you kind of like get this option of being critical, and no one can really hold it against you because, well, it's a known fact that no one or everyone in the league is better than Fallow and I, for example. But we still get to be critical because we see so many good teams play. We see what should have been done in theory, even if we don't know how to execute it
Yeah.
in.
No, I agree. When you're in the caster chair, it's again there is a criticism that you might see things that the players would never see, but I don't even think we're pointing to those things today. And if we are, we'll look at that as well, right? But in general, these are pretty
Yeah.
straightforward examples of just we're looking at communication that's been improved a lot in LCG. We're looking at a failure to communicate on GB's part, right? We're looking at
Absolutely.
I looked at Plebdo's stats. He had a pretty low KST with 57%, but he did have by and far top opening duels and top damage. But again, if you look at LCG, their bottom end in terms of damage and KST is much higher than even Ikazo, Dylan, and Ender. I think that the LCG is a much more balanced team right now. GB's kind of playing all over the place. Some very low lows and some very high highs. So that's not going to work out. They really have to support Plebdo a lot right now to make any of these rounds work.
CG have also been phenomenal and they're great so far, so I do want to see how long they can keep this up because it feels like as soon as they lose one person, they just immediately refrag. That I just cut out.
Can I? No, I just look at the barbs. Like we didn't even comment on the barbs yet. Like
Yeah.
what are these barbs?
Kind of wasteful, but if they end up working, they end up working. This is the last round. Argo gets the entry onto Toxic. Plebdo follows up with one, but Argo will fall. That's two for Plebdo before he's finally shut down by Admiral. Kazo there to get one of his own, and it's all Kuko. The clutch just went out. He has like 4 barbs to go through before he can get anything done. Kazo's gonna be swinging close with the saber. Misses shots. Kuko will chase him. And, well, it is a 1v2. It is winnable, but an AK and a Gruber, 2 mollies.
Why is it not
Dylan
racked?
swings.
What do you mean? Did he just reload it? The saber wasn't racked when Kuko picked it up. How would you even... Oh, no.
I don't know.
That's brutal.
Those are things that I miss in Map View.
Yeah. Kuko picks up the saber there. It's got 3 shots in it. I mean, still very unlikely he wins that round just because of the ammo pool, but why is it racked? I'm confused. Not in racked, I meant. Oh, yeah. That was a really good flank from Plebdo. I was very confused about the positioning against Argo's Freezer because, yeah, like, of course they're going to play Freezer Door. Freezer Door is next to bulletproof. It's very thick. Attackers are not going to be able to pen that, so their only opportunity is to get really close to it and open it. So the auto, naturally, because of the nature of the Freezer Doorway, is going to be very strong there. So, kudos to Plebdo for, again, finding a way in, right? He always sees a way where he just says, you know what? they're not watching this right now. I'm going in. He just has a sixth sense for that. So that was very, very impressive. And of course, Argo and Plebdo, they're the dominant players in this lobby, and them playing together is very key to GB success right now. That's what we just saw. So let's see if they can keep that momentum up and try to make a comeback here against LCG, which I never thought I'd be saying.
That's true, actually. I didn't have that on my bingo card for 2022.
Yeah, for real.
Here we are. We're back. We're back in this very triangular, I guess.
Yeah, it's again you drawn my cheese wedges, but
That's true.
in this kind of map, again, it's the same logic, right? You want half the map, right? What half do you want to concede? And what I always think is interesting is the way that these maps are designed, right? The tile sets themselves actually is that each of these maps, if you listen to the map designers, you listen to the creative director, they talk about a central tactical challenge. And the tactical challenge on Dome is that you have to decide as an attacker what really good thing you want to not have that round. It's not about what you get, it's about what you're giving up. And so on Dome, it's all about, if we don't take observation, that means defenders have observation. If we don't take pit, if we don't take power, they have control of that. If you don't take jungle, et cetera, it's all about that. Even on a map like this one, where it feels a lot smaller, a lot of the fighting is condensed to this little spot right here. Because so much of this long range area is just dominated by the Saber or Black Tars and base. Because of that, you still have to think about which portion of the map do we want to control. If we want to control top of observation and this North Ruins, then we're probably not going to have many people pushing this pit. And if we spread too thin, we're just going to get picked off with all these great angles you can play from inside pit, So it's always going to come down to efficiently routing those flashbangs into a very small, condensed, simple area, and then having all that you need for that bomb defusal.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. Well, we'll definitely see what ends up happening. It looks like it's just Pleb pushing through the beach, and everyone else is just NPC walking around onto the upper breach inside of
Plebdo is
jungle.
in. He is in. He always finds a way. Look how deep he got already.
Oh my god,
wow,
no, he misses the shots though. Shut down by Kuko. The breach comes out, but Plebdo is dead by then. So it doesn't really end up mattering. Argo with the entry, quickly reflect by the auto. Toxic has been absolutely amazing with that auto shot. Lando finds one of his own, but is quickly shot in the back. Like you said, Molly, really good. It separates the remaining two players of GB. One still outside, one had to push in deep before he got his head taken off. Kuko's going to be the next point of contention for Ender. If he swings out of the log, takes a lot of damage, looks the wrong way. Flashes out from Dylan, but Toxic with the auto is ready. Kuko finishes Ender off. And we're on match point for LCG.
What is going on? Toxic is playing out of his mind, right out of his gourd. I've heard Doodler say. I like that phrase. Out of his gourd right now. I mean, you saw the auto, perfect to shut down the initial rush from Argo, who split up, and then he mollies exactly perfectly on North Observation jungle platform to push Ender into the jungle, and Kuko's just tracking Ender through the walls because Ender's just making noise, panicked, Wow, Kuko played so well that round too. I mean, like I pointed out before, you can play in that little water spot, and it's so insanely good, right? Because you're covered by bulletproof floor, you're tucked in, you're probably camouflaged a bit near some of the grass and some of the ramps. It's very, very well played there to try and isolate Plebdo, deal with him early, and then also put all the pressure he needed onto Ender. That was really cool.
Match point? We're on match point?
This is match point for LCG.
So what? Okay.
What the heck? 7-0 prediction from Argo. He was close. 7-4, but for LCG,
Well, you called it at the beginning.
I don't know,
you
man.
did say that. You said.
I think they're mind gaming themselves, man. I don't know what this is.
Oh my god. Well, I don't know, but they need to figure something out. I do want to see what the attackers go for here. I think Toxic Breach isn't very likely just because of how much of a funnel it is, and I'm
Can
sure
I point out something about that?
Please do.
If Kuko's the kind of guy to notice stuff like this. If they hit this button right here on dock number 1, boom, yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
So
that's true. Actually,
I don't think anyone's ever going to take Toxic for that reason.
You keep someone deep here to just press the button and have someone with like a Ningma or something very long.
I don't even know if they can hit it from down there. They probably could, but I'm not sure. I need to test that myself. But actually, you said you want to look at attack, and honestly, I want to look at defense because this map, it's like the attack positions are so far from each other. You have the dock push, you have the Toxic push, green push, office push. They're all in the different corners of the map. You only have 3 barbs to work with in general here, and you can't really barb a dock push, right? So I think Ikazu's pointing that out, and yeah, we're going to see a Doc push here because honestly, he gets to lock out this lane, and then it's just going to come down to 4 players barreling out of Doc and hoping that enough of the defending team, enough of LCG is going to be in server farm, and we do see 2 players here doing just what GB did. But those guys are going to have a rotate of their lifetime to get back. And honestly, that's going to probably be Toxic. But Toxic is an easy place to hold from Doc. If you sit behind this forklift, really, really, really easy to play flank watch against Doc.
I'm going to throw out the early nade to try and get someone inside of Doc. Didn't quite connect. So, well, the nade is off the table for this round. The wall charge will get placed. And I hope open soon. There we go. Finally, Toxic's going to be swinging close. Just going to throw out the molly.
They got the Toxic rotate. Yeah, they got that molly off, which just gave him enough time.
Usually you say, you wanna bait mollies and flashes for one another, but this early molly gave enough time for the rest of LCG to rotate around, and I think that was played well. Kuka finds one Toxic, but a second one. That's Plebdo and Argo, the 2 main fraggers of GB just down. Dylan does find one of his own, but I'm not sure if it's enough to stop the bleeding. Ender does find Lando as well. We are in a 3-3, but look at the HP on the side of GB. Doesn't matter. Dylan finds the second one on extremely low HP. EK still on the Saber. Admiral and Lin have to clutch this one up. It's the Mop and the Long AK, along with 1 molly that they have currently on them. And they need to put in a lot of work. And they're just on the bomb tapping it. Ling will swing, but he has the Mop, so he can't really wall them.
Wow. Oh, no way. No way.
Well, it's the Saber versus the Mop. 1v1.
He does have a flash here. I think he wins this in almost every situation. Ikazu just has to flash this intelligently, find the back of cargo hold, and then push in.
EK's low enough to die to 1 LS headshot, though, isn't he?
I mean, yeah, for sure. Looks like Lin has an LS in hand. Oh no! Oh no!
Well,
like I said, Ikazu's a smart player. He's gonna put a flash where he needs it, right there. That was a really good try though from Lin.
Too close for comfort.
Yeah, that was.
Way too close for comfort.
I'm gonna chalk that round up to a mistake that Lind made. Actually, I don't know if you caught it, but Lin decided to play in the middle of Toxic. He had a Mop. Something to understand about cover is that when you're playing from further back, you have a better field of view towards something. If we think about specifics, right? Let's not speak in vague terms. Lind is in Toxic, pictured in your head. He's looking at Doc. Where do you want to be with a Mop scope, right? The closer you are, the less your Mop scope is going to see. So he moved up too close, and he had to flick left and right to the right and left of the forklift, which meant that he had a very hard time aiming at one of the players on GB as they crossed out of that smoke. And it ended up making it so that he missed the shot on a player that he probably would have hit if he was more passively positioned and only had to move his mouse a little bit less. I call that crowd cover with most guns. Like, the closer you are to a piece of cover, the worse the cover is for you, because the more of their body you're seeing, right? That's something that you want to think about in this game. I see a lot of players who don't play a lot of FPS games or don't understand the geometry element of just, like, their spatial sense might not be there, right? I've seen it in Siege. You've seen, like, pretty high-profile people talk about how they died around a corner. Like, I was holding an angle, but they shot me before I could see them. How's that possible? It's like, try it for yourself in real life, Go into a hallway and just pie a corner, right? You'll see that the closer you are, the more your shoulder and like half of your head is going to stick out, That applies at all distances, is what I'm saying.
There you go, folks. Magenta Man's 101 in swinging and FPS titles. Exclusively on DPL. We're back on another pretty standard C-store. I'm really not sure what to comment on this one. I do want to see if anyone decides to push tellers in the end.
Well, let's talk about this barb. I mean, they have a barb suggested for Freezer on a red door. Like, I don't know how you'd play that, but it's an
I
idea.
think it was going to be a kick, either a kick barb or just to run out with the auto shotty, but they did move it away, so they're probably not doing that.
Yeah, that's fair. I think this one in Freezer is decent because you can still swing through the backside of Freezer into the south corner and then shoot, like, to do what Plebdo did a little bit. But having this barb here means that you can sit behind the bomb and play this angle as well. That barb has to be very precisely positioned, though, because if it's not, then you won't be able to see it from that bomb, and it will not be very useful.
I like the fact that Linda just kind of here on the right side of the barb, or the lower side of the barb, just kind of go for intel, and as soon as they pushed in, he just fell back. He has a barb to play with, well, not anymore because it's been destroyed, but he is going to throw the molly. Plebdo is going to lose just a little bit of HP. No, actually, he survived all of that. Well, due process of balance game. Lind almost dies to the breach, but it's taken out by Ikazo. Soon thereafter, 3 people just pushing through arcade into Freezers.
Kuko again
with the neck. He's just a demon. Dylan is right behind him, though, and I'm not sure if they're aware of that. There we go. He's safely in tellers, but Lando lost his life. Kuko falls short after Oh,
Look at Toxic's flank.
Admiral.
Oh, but he causes not
Again,
there.
oh my
Wow!
god!
Yes, Toxic. He's crazy with that auto today.
Ender is just a menace on pushing the bomb today. He just tapped it so many times, forced the defenders to rotate around, and now it's all up to Admiral on the short AK to swing. But it's Argo watching just that. And, well,
Wow, they did find a way.
we had we
6-6.
did have a
Wow.
7-0 prediction, right? We did have a 7-0 prediction, and we ended up in 6-6.
Everyone's wrong.
Yeah,
Everyone's wrong.
as far as possible from a 7-0 as we,
If anyone said someone would win, they were still wrong. That's crazy. That's hilarious.
Final points
Wow.
are safe. That's what matters.
Man, I mean, if just like two things changed that round, I think LCG could have managed to win that. Kuko just played so phenomenally well, just taking out Plebdo over and over again. That was insane to watch. I mean, whew, I don't know. I think GB managed to like make a little bit of a comeback there, so they're probably going to be okay moving forward here. But nevertheless, I mean, LCG should feel good about that. If they're at all sour that they didn't win that, they have the wrong mentality. That was 6 rounds they took off of GB. That's insane.
That's, yeah, absolutely more than, we said 7-2, 7-2, 7-3, 7-3, something like that. They got as many rounds as we predicted them to get in the entire series in just this one first game against GB. And I think, like you said, if they manage to keep their momentum, their mental, I think they could put in massive work on games 2 and potentially even 3 if we do get to that. So,
yeah, for sure.
Well, do you have any closing thoughts? Because we are going to go on a 5-minute break to, give us a second, to give the players a second, to give the viewers a second, even to go for some water, for a snack, for, well, whatever you want while you're watching Due Process.
I mean, I'm good. That was a lot for me. I'm going to take a break as well. That was crazy.
Okay, catch you in 5 then. Don't go anywhere.
See you in 5.
Well, we're back. We have at least 2 more maps ahead of us, or definitely 2 more maps ahead of us, because the first one was a draw, and you and I predicted a 7-2 for GB. Argo, the GB player, he predicted a 7-0 for GB, and it was a 6-6. So as far as it could have been from our predictions, we do have 2 more maps to play, and depends on who wins the next one. I think whoever wins game 2 will kind of also win the whole series, but that is definitely up for discussion. We thought we could have Sachi play for GB on game 2 because they did have 2 subs instead of their starting roster.
Right.
Sachi is not able to play because he got outvoted on his work thing. I don't know, something break. So GB will have to keep utilizing their 2 subs, and that is honestly probably the biggest problem for them at the moment. Not who the subs are, but the fact that they aren't quite comfortable with the subs. That feels like a major problem because the comms aren't there, the refrags aren't what they should be, the communication is just kind of shaky at the moment, and that is actually where LCG have been excelling, right? That is something no one would have expected us to say today. That is not something that I would have thought I'd ever say.
Not that good last week, but this week, I mean, just totally blows what they did last week out of the water. What we're seeing today is some very, very good micromanaging, some very good death callouts as well. Just clearly, I mean, we don't hear the comms, but we can just tell, like, these guys are communicating so much better this time. And I wanted to point out, just stat-wise, it's kind of cool, like, Argo and Toxic both are at 92% KST on that first game, with very, very similar stat lines. 1,500 damage on Toxic, 1,600 on Argo, and a very similar kill death with 12 and 10 on Toxic and 11-11 on Argo. So very, very similar distributions here, but what we have as a benefit to LCG side is that their bottom end, definitely in the end, I was right, it's very, very similar. So they all had about 1,000 damage, with the top 2 players, Kuko and Toxic, having much higher than that. Same deal with GB, except their bottom end is just a little bit lower. They're kind of distributed a little bit more unevenly. So again, we're gonna have to see if Ikazu can pick up the slack, go even. He was 6-9 that game. He won only one of the first opening duels, but he did have 1,200 damage, so he did do his damage. We need to see more of him playing a little bit sharper, a little bit smarter, and trading better, because he's going to have to make up for the fact that they're not playing their main roster, like you said.
Yeah. The one thing to also look at, by the way, I pulled up the whole dpstats.com just to confirm my suspicion that Toxic's best weapon was the auto shotgun.
Of course. No question. There's no question.
We've seen him be an absolute beast. I just wanted to see
you don't need to look that
writing,
up, of course.
Black and white. But
absolutely.
The one thing to note is that Plebdo was 4-6 on entry, and he is, kind of the driving force of GB most of these rounds. And that means that out of the 6 rounds where he took an entry duel, he died without doing anything in 2 of those.
Yeah.
Which is not something you're used to from Plebdo. Usually, he's excuse me, COVID things. Usually you have Plebdo at either 100, opening duels 1. Maybe he loses 1, but 4 and 6 is, you know, it's still great for any other player, but I think he kind of set the bar for himself higher with just his tenure in DPL so far.
He's doing fine, but Kuko is the one who shut him down on those 2 pushes, so I think Kuko has to figure out how to do that more often, and then he'll be okay. 2 things I want to point out about this map. Kuko loves these exterior run-out peaks. He's going to be doing one early with the Knack. Knack is pretty good for that because it'll penetrate players with full damage on the first couple players, so he can shoot through like 3 people at once and do a ton of damage if they push him here. Second of all, GB's going for a very weird wall charge this round, but let's take it away. Show me. What's going to happen? Oh, no. What? I don't know about Boxy, but that was pretty weird to me. Toxic takes the auto to Argo, but Argo does manage to just wipe the floor with Toxic and Lando here. Lin now has a mop in a very late round with a grenade right next to him. Argo could just push Lando here and very easily win that duel.
I think I liked out there. I think that's what happened, you know. Boxy internet moment, but it is what it is. It is a 2v4 at the moment. Kind of love an HP Admiral just to himself, and now it's all up to Lin. He has to save them off, but he's being chased by Argo on the auto. There we go. There's no way. Nope. Argo gets him. That's the mop and the auto shotty in hands of Global Breakout in round 1.
I'm going to pull stats on the first round here because I want to see exactly what the damage distribution was on the initial push. For some reason, I didn't see Toxic shoot his auto. What I saw was Argo get the chance to shoot twice, which is, I don't understand that. So
no wreck counter? +1?
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have Roach, our beloved production man. We'll have him pull up the stats and set so everyone else can see them as well. You know, it's probably easier on the eyes than just having us read them off of our screens. So
if possible, that's cool with me. Yeah, let's take a look.
There we go. They're up. I don't know if you can see him because they're kind of small for us. We just see his OBS, but
well, what I do see, I think Argo had about just under 300 damage that round, probably just 300 damage. Let's see here, and we also had. I wanted to see if Kuko actually did much there. He did 99 damage. Yeah, so I think Kuko's idea fell short because they swung wide, and he went for the person that was swinging wide rather than just dying for like a bunch of damage on the people who are lined up a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. The first round was kind of a blunder for LCG. I feel like they were just a little bit too confident in themselves after the 6-6 in game 1. And Global Breakout, they had the mental reset between the matches.
Okay, I see now.
Oh, no.
So, the Toxic didn't shoot. I don't know what the deal was there. I mean, he had the auto. He was fighting Argo. He just didn't shoot. So hopefully he figures out what happened there. But please go take it away.
Direct your attention to the map we're currently watching.
Oh, listen, this is where chat's going to turn against me, but I don't think this map is that bad. I kind of like this map. It's got some quirks to it that are objectively ridiculous, and I think that was by design. But it's also got some quirks to it that are kind of fun. I like a lot of the fights that happen here.
I give
excited in chat.
Yeah. I give Donut a lot of shit for it. It's all in jazz though. It's definitely an interesting map. It feels like a breath of fresh air. And I've had this discussion with Donut, and I know he said it multiple times. This map should not be in comp. It's a super fun, casual, lighthearted map. In comp, it kind of sticks out a little bit too much. It breaks everything out a little bit too much, in my opinion. But well, until we get the option to actually manually select, excuse me again, which maps we are playing in comp, well, we'll just have to deal with it. The lights have been added to it recently, so at least there is that. Let's get the obvious out of the way. First of all, I do want to see, it looks like GB is just going to go for these doors, but I have seen a bunch of people when the attackers Vico just swing with like an Ingmar, maybe even a Mop or an AK, so that's something that I love seeing. But these walkways, you know, the narrow walkways, you can just put down so much barbed wire and you can just stop the attackers in their tracks. That looks like what LCG is doing, but they only have the barbs in like the outer parts of the walkway. There's nothing like deeper into the side. If Global Breakout actually pushes through, LCG could be in trouble.
I think that's right. I think what's important to remember here is that they don't have the mop anymore, and what you usually would want is a mop in this server farm playing this insanely good mop angle through the green door, and you know, even Argo here is kind of scared of that. He's got the pistol out. Everyone's kind of wary of that green door because even though there's no mop, you still kind of want to be playing this green. It's such a powerful way to put pressure on the storage red indirectly. So, you know, them not playing storage at all, giving up server farm and storage, pretty sketchy. But yeah, that angle that Lin just played to pick up a kill on Plebdo is one of my favorite angles to play on this map for sure.
Yeah, something we haven't really pointed out, by the way, is that we did see a roster change effect. It's not Sachi, but it's gonna be Muse subbing out Dylan. So there's definitely more threat power, but a little less brain power, if I can say so, without sounding
Okay,
mean.
I mean,
No, like,
that's your
no,
call, man.
I
love
don't
that
want
one.
to sound mean, okay? But Dylan is one of the more tactical players. He can be like kind of the brains of the operation most of the time. GB at the moment, they honestly just don't need that. They need some frag power. EK, I think, is such a big brain man that he can handle the IGL in himself. He doesn't really need help from Dylan. I feel like that's where Dylan shined on, Katura, for example. And so somebody in Muse, who is just a beast on most of those guns, I feel like is a better call than having Dylan. As much as I love Dylan, my favorite British person, as we
I
often
think
joke
I think he's
about.
my favorite British person too. Just to be clear,
Oh yeah. Okay,
he's a cool
well,
guy.
the only kills coming out from GB so far have been for Argo. He got 3 of his own, but he's low on HP. It is a 2v2. Kuko also low, and now Admiral follows the same suit. One shot will take him out of contention, but still, it's all up to Argo to clutch this one. He will need an ace if he wants to win this round. Can he do it? 25 seconds, or 30 seconds left on the clock, excuse me. 10 needed to defuse the bomb. And, well, he's not in a great position to do so. One Molly in pocket of Kuko as well. Smoke will help him out a little bit, but if Kuko blinds the Molly like he should, nope, he's just gonna swing and he's gonna shoot instead. That's not something you want to do. Throw the Molly, Kuko.
Yeah, Kuko not throwing that molly. Argo will get the
No!
ace. Oh my
That's an
gosh,
ace!
just feeding it right into Argo. Where was the molly, Kuko? Again, I saw this barb setup and I was a little bit concerned because, yeah, Kuko had to push his own barbed wire here, and that really hurt him big time. I think he didn't understand the bomb placement so well, and he wasn't confident in throwing that molly. But if he just threw it, I think maybe right on top of bomb.
Even here, yeah.
Yeah, just that would have been enough for Admiral. But wow, Argo, yep, coming in clutch. Got the saber, got the clacker, and a 5K right behind him. That's crazy. Well done to Argo for sure.
Yeah. Well, we've kind of used most of the time to iterate that Dylan is our favorite British person, and
That's right.
I still agree with that, but I feel like
Anything
on
to
the
avoid
current
talking about that map, just to be clear. That was this was fully intentional. I did not want to talk
absolutely.
about that map.
But yeah, I feel like with the current, with Ikazo, Argo, Plebda, and Ender, I just feel like Musi fits in a little bit better with what GB needs, and it does seem like it's working so far. Muse, well, he is on the lower side of damage. He hasn't really been in as many gunfights. He's 0-1-1 currently, but still,
I mean,
GB are 2-0 up.
Ikazu and Muse have next to no damage right now, but Argo pulling ahead with like 530
600.
damage. Yeah, almost 600 damage, and that's more than twice what Admiral or Lin has. So, yeah, he's playing well for sure, no question. Plebdo obviously in second, but again, we do see a much more even split. We do see 3 of the players on GB's side with much less damage than the bottom 3 on LCG's side. LCG playing a much more balanced game. I think that is their key to winning this match. What am I being shown here? What is this vault? Help me out here.
I see a lot of scribbles. I don't know. That's what that looks like the drawings that my 3-year-old half sister sends me every now and then.
Scribblings of a madman. Who's IGLing this? What is this? LCG is thinking, oh yeah, we will sit in the vault. We will have 2 Molotovs. We will have one player in accounting, and he will die. I guess I don't know. What's their plan here? You're gonna put like 3 guys in vault. What's the idea?
I love your German accent. I think it's spot on, but I don't know. We'll see. GB are 2 up. I don't think we've seen them on game 1 with a 2-round advantage. So I guess they're doing something round. And like you said, I feel like LCG are kind of falling out of stride at the moment. They're just kind of not sure what to do.
Get out of
think
the vault.
pressure is getting to them.
Get out of the vault.
No.
Yep, there it is. I called it. Like, why? Like, just watch Kuko. That's all we gotta say. Watch Kuko. What can you do, right? They have a mob. Yeah, he's gonna get nothing done. Oh, Nato pushing him as well.
No!
Why?
You ran out of bullets!
No! It's not how you do an opener for a 3-man vault play.
Well, Argo shows no signs of slowing down on the flip side.
But Admiral has to basically pull all the flashes here, and he will pull 1. Okay, that's it. They have like 4 flashes for vault now. The round is already decided. 3 mollies, though. I mean, you could actually eat 3 flashes, and then maybe it works out. Oh
Well, I
my
mean, the
god.
two barbs are there, but the first molly comes out way prematurely, so that's
I
definitely not going to do LCG any favors
the
whatsoever.
map.
Musargo pushing up, Pleb already there on the angle, swinging behind the bomb. It's a 4v3. Keep in mind, the mob on the defensive side, or the attacking rather, it kills defenders with one shot, so he just needs to find an elbow or a foot or a pinky sticking out, and that's a kill. Molly's coming out prematurely, and it's all falling apart there for
I've been
LCG.
tears.
Toxic playing the lag rose as well. He does have the last Molly. He will throw it, but Pleb finds a
Oh,
kill onto Lin behind the bomb.
2 flashes
Nice
now.
Molly. Some flashes have been wasted. There's still one in the pocket of Argo, but everyone's just funneling in those barbs. I don't know what GB's doing at the moment. Toxic goes for the swing, but falls prematurely. Lando, can he find one? Yes, he can, but that's all he can get in the round. And it's
Dude,
another one for GB.
if you had one player playing tellers there, right? Just one player playing tellers alone. Admiral dies, they trade out. If Kuko did any damage that round, right? Like realistically, that might have worked, right? The
I want to
reason
play
that
CSGO.
I know, I'm in tears laughing because I'm watching that being scrawled into the map after Kuko flubs that fight against Argo. I mean, what on earth, man? They gave up all their power weapons, and then they said, yeah, Kuko can 1v5 against all their power weapons at lobby. What?
Yeah,
What
I
are you
mean, the biggest
doing?
problem with Kuko was that he was just in a position where he couldn't get out, or, well, he shouldn't have been able to get out.
He could have.
He was given an opportunity then, but that was
He
more of a
did.
fluke from
He came
GB's
back.
side. And then he came back, which was, another blunder on his side. But in theory, if GB played that right, Kuko should never have even been able to make it to security.
Well, maybe.
He should have been dropped on side.
I mean,
Um,
that door closes on you pretty fast, you know? Like, they might just not have been peeking the straight ahead angle into
well,
the security.
as Kuko learned, it takes way too long to open, and if you have a 20 bullet mag, it runs out before it actually opens.
Yep. Can't really pre-fire security with with an Ingmar versus an
It's
auto.
super funny, by the way, because Ingmar shoots so slow. You'd think, at least some bullets would be left over in the mag by the time it
No.
opens, but it actually took the
To
entire.
be fair, you only need the 2 if they're headshots, right? So,
That's true.
I mean, yeah, I guess you have a point there. Okay,
Two more than Cooker though.
I'm scared. I think LCG has checked out. I'm seeing a door charge placed on Brickhouse. I'm starting to get worried. I'm getting a little concerned about how they're approaching this map. Obviously, this map has a very clean, concise wall charge right here on lockers on the north end of the map, and you could easily use that to throw flashbangs overhead, toss them in, and then you're into the map. You send a couple guys maybe through this door in office to push out whoever's up here, and then you have a pretty good, again, drawing that little triangle I do. That's the portion of the map that you want to control, and then from there you can stage your bomb defusal. But instead we see a door charge on the brick house, and what's crazy is we actually have that being called with a molly set up for it, so that's really interesting. Argo will be playing brick house. No molly, actually. They decide against the molly. They say there's no way they're going to be pushing brick house. Why would they do that? That's ridiculous. But what we will do is we'll kill them all as they go to brick house by sitting in the breezeway. I do like this. I like the breezeway hold. This is going to be cool. Kuko's done this before on my team. Hopefully they recognize it. They do, but it's a lot of damage already.
Okay, there we go. Ikaza with the Maw swinging out breezeway. He finds the first one. Plebdo tries following up,
Oh
takes a
my
lot of
goodness.
damage, but EK on the reswing takes out Kuko as well. LCG barely getting out of the truck, and they're already dropping like flies. They're all hiding behind the boxes. They're so
Okay.
scared to swing out.
Okay, so Kuko does push into this corner, but like he's assuming that the rest of his team is actually watching Ikazo, and they're not. They're going north. So Kuko has this idea like, quick aggression, I can sneak in a pick, but the rest of his team is on a different page. You can tell the styles are clashing now at LCG. They're thinking, let's get safe and let's use the saber, and Kuko's thinking, I want to kill Plebdo. It's a very different story being told there.
Yeah,
Honestly,
absolutely.
the round's basically already done because they have a
we're
lot
just
of it.
stalling out here.
Yeah, but
sorry.
they've got a frag, a door charge, a clacker, and a saber, right? That's 4
Yeah.
pieces of utility that they want to save on round 1. So I don't think they will be peeking anything. I think what's going to happen is Admiral will
Agreed.
try and peek a little bit with the saber near the box, and it's crucial that he plays near the box because if he dies, then Toxic can pick it up from his corpse from safety and just sit there and hold, right? Toxic has 1 HP. His job is to keep the utility. Lando has the door charging clacker. His job is to never move. This is basically the round, right? If there was a forfeit option here, they'd take it every time and they just keep their gear and move on. So
I mean,
anyway,
this round they're using it as a they're using it as
they're using it as
as a
As
timeout, as a technical timeout.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can, they can talk about what's going wrong. They can just chill. They basically got a minute and a half for free, just sitting behind those boxes saying, "Okay, guys, we need to fix this, this, and that," but with a German accent, which you can do and I can't.
Okay, guys, we will sit behind this box and wait for 1 minute and reprimand Kuko for taking this fight to Fabio.
Amazing. Well, there we go. Argo swings out Admiral, so that's the Saber drop. Toxic.
And
is
exactly
pick
what
it
I
up,
said, right? You're just gonna pick up the
yeah.
Saber. There's no real downside to doing that there in this case.
You save the door charge, a clacker, and
4 of them just
nade,
rotating
Saber.
like a phalanx in Breezeway.
Imagine if you could chuck that nade far enough. That would be,
that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe
I don't
in the
know.
next Revenant Mythbuster video we can
I'm
see.
I feel bad for anyone that tuned into the second game and is watching this and they're like, yeah, LCG's being LCG right now. It's like, no, man, they were doing fine. That's why this is even more disappointing, because it's not like we went in with low expectations in the second game. We saw them pull out a tie in the previous game for those that missed it, and now we're looking at a 4-0 for GB. And I don't think it's entirely because of Muse, but certainly that's helping, of course. But no, man, I like already they've given up a lot of ground. They've taken a lot of early damage. They went for some bad early swings. It's mostly just been LCG decisions getting kind of worse over the last few rounds. I mean, even in that first round, taking 2 power weapons and losing both of them, that kind of set the tone for that first quarter. And now I'm kind of worried about this next one as well.
Well, we were hyping LCG up, and I know you don't cast off them, but have you ever heard of the Caster's Curse?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, there you have it. That is exactly what is happening. But
all right, boo LCG, go GB. I don't know what to make this an interesting game. What has to happen here?
Biased
right?
caster, yeah.
No, I mean we got to make this interesting, right?
Yeah. They call me GB biased, but it's been you all along. We've been called a pause, so I'm gonna do that. Game crash. Well, I guess we also have a technical timeout of our own, and we can kind of crash. Tommy wanna be, I guess.
He's gonna say play CS:GO, 100%. There's no question.
Wanna play.
Play.
Tommy wanna play.
Oh. After.
Play CS after. Yes.
I want to play with Tommy.
Well, we're playing CS or DP.
Oh.
What are we playing?
No, Tommy. This is Lind. Okay. I do not want to be sitting here on Donut's map, Tidal Viper, because the more I look at this map, the more I want to talk about it, and I know I'm going to talk myself into a corner on this one. I don't know, man. I just kind of like it. I like sitting here with an Ingmar and just popping heads at Pipeworks. I mean, I like this angle that Lynn played earlier, I think, with the Ingmar as well.
Have you seen this drop down? Like we've seen during the major, you see someone, the map drop down here, and they swung out a head level glitch, and it was so insane.
That's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know.
LCG, I feel like the pressure got to them. They were so close to beating GB. They got it to 6-6, which I don't even think they expected. I'm gonna be honest with you. With how good GB is with the Titans that they are in the scene still. They have shown that they are beatable recently, especially during the major. But still, they've had a flawless run during the season. I was very sad, by the way, that Bingus and GB didn't play. You guys had to forfeit. That was
It was very, very unfortunate. Yeah, we had to.
My favorite match, but there's a likelihood of a rematch tomorrow if you guys win your match and they win theirs. Or, well, on the flip side, if you guys lose your match and they lose theirs, that's also a possibility there.
Yeah, totally.
Albeit unlikely. But LCG, I think they were just like, guys, we're so close to beating GB, and the pressure really just got to them. They were like, okay, what do we do now? We just need like a little bit more, but I'm not sure if we have it in the tank. And they're trying to give us their everything, but I think they're just falling short because of that. They're not playing their own game. They're trying super hard to beat GB, right?
Yeah, totally. I'm also taking another look at the stats as well, and yeah, Muse is actually at the bottom in terms of damage, and we're starting to see. No, actually, you know what? It's still pretty consistently the case where Argo and Plebdo are at the top, and everyone else is kind of lower down in the tier. But what we just saw is Plebdo pick up a lot of damage, and even then, just picking up all that damage, he still only has less than 500 damage, with Argo at just under 900 damage now. Again, that's like twice what Admiral or Toxic has.
Pause.
Yeah, we are still paused, it looks like. Oh, no, it looks like the players are ready now.
Yeah. Okay, well,
all right.
Tidal Viper.
Nope, not going to talk about it.
Okay, let's just talk about what the players are doing there. They're sitting in their truck very menacingly.
Yeah. menacingly. I mean, okay, I will say this: Ikazo has the mop. He's probably going to go green. He's probably going to watch this long angle towards the stairway. He might
Hmm.
even shotgun the door open. Argo might shotgun the green door open. Which, you know what, that might reveal that he has an auto. I'm looking at their gear right now. They don't have a shorty or a tub at all, so maybe they don't opt for the kick. Maybe they just play the window. But I really think that you want a double peek here. You want the guy at the window next to the garbage, and then you want one at the doorway, and that's going to be a very, very powerful peek for them if
Wait,
they opt for that.
do we know which way the door opened? Because if it opens in like this, if it opened like this, then it just gives you a lot of cover to swing out onto green. That
Yeah.
would be pretty
So
good,
the
right?
door handle is on the east side right here, so it's going to swing like that. If you can see that on my map just now, it's going to swing out towards the west. So
Oh, I was talking about red. I was talking about a red swing
oh, the red
potentially.
door. Oh,
The
oh, the
red
red
door.
door. I apologize. I didn't see
Yeah.
your drawings. Yeah,
Sorry. Okay.
the red door is going to swing out this direction towards the south. So it's going to swing like that.
Ah, okay. Because if it opened the other way, like it would have given you additional cover to just swing
Additional
out like
cover. Yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
which would have been really good.
It's still very good to do, and I totally expect to see that here.
Yeah. Well,
Ikazo did opt for the kick, so he is going to play for the pick. And oh, he misses the body shot.
Unlucko Bako Admiral with the entry onto Ender, who tried to swing off of Ikazo's shot there. So
Man,
unlucky, but it is what it is.
Ikazo's shots today have not been good. I'm just going to be very, very blunt. Like, I've been consistently watching him in first person here just to double check how he's been positioning, but his aim just looks a little shaky. And a lot of these initial picks that he wants to get, he's not getting. Now, I do think that should just inform him to play a more passive game throughout the round and play these longer positions, but I don't know. We'll see.
We've kind of seen Nikazo burn out from the snipers on his general play style during the major, and he just switched to like this more aggressive AK player, and it worked out really
Yeah.
well for him. But he's slowly
Yeah.
been transitioning back into the sabers, and it just hasn't been going well. The lights have been
Wow.
full, by the way. Plebdo find one, but Admiral with two of his own on the round. Plebdo is so low in HP as well. One bullet and he will be shut down. But Kuko
Oh,
and
look at
Admiral
Plebdo!
are on
Wow,
the
what a
same boat.
sneaky
Well,
guy.
there we go.
Every
Speaking of
game,
Plebdo,
man. Yeah.
10 HP though. He is low. He is low.
I think
He's
it's
looking
just
in the
a
right direction.
really free pick for Lind, though, with this flash. Come on, Lind, jump up. Where's the parkour? There it is.
Pleb
Nice.
definitely gave him some work. Lind is now in
Yeah.
60 HP. Kuko even lower. And look at Toxic. I don't even know how he's alive. He should be like downed or something. I don't know. I know that's not a thing in this game. EK finally finds a kill. Muse with a second one. And it's a 1v1 Toxic versus Ikazo. Ikazo has the mob, but it doesn't matter because, well, Toxic, he's literally on 1 HP. EK can just whip out the pistol, but he's obviously not aware of Toxic's low HP. No utility in Toxic's pocket either.
In my opinion, Toxic walks all the way into office right behind Ikazu right now. That's what he has to do.
The problem here is the time.
There
There
it
you go.
is.
Spots Ikazo, takes him out. He will
Beautiful.
sprint for the bomb.
Like
The
that
problem there is-
showcases how power is so effective in this game, even at a high level, even if there's like, you know, little gimmicks and things you can do with the light and all that, and even if the lighting might not be perfect, it's like just having some level of darkness disorients even the best players enough that you can totally offset any sort of economic issues or any sort of health issues just by being really sneaky. And
I
I
can.
yeah, go ahead, please.
Sorry, I only see one flare on this entire map. I could have missed some, but I've
No,
only seen
yeah,
one.
I think I only
Right?
saw one. Maybe they
That
just
was
forgot players, but I don't know. I don't know.
maybe they forgot the map got lights added
They-
recently.
maybe they, but more so, I think they also just think it's covered in green goo, right? There's just permanent like soft lighting everywhere,
Glow.
so yeah, like just this glow everywhere. So I don't know, maybe that was the reasoning, but doesn't make sense to me. Either way, like what we saw there was probably that round. I mean, that round was a 1 HP clutch. If you think about it, what happened
Yep.
at the beginning of the round? Ikazo whiffed, right? That would have been a huge boost to their damage that round. I think if they had a better opener at green, probably GB takes that one, and they usually would have a good opener at green, but they kind of flubbed it. So kudos to kudos to LCG for finding a way in there, and also especially to Admiral for picking up two very important picks at the beginning.
Absolutely. Well, we do have Kuko promoting the DPL CSGO server right before Lind, I think it was, deletes it all, or at least half of it. So now we just have some scribbles on our screen, and they're gonna remain here for at least a little while. I do want to see what the attack ends up doing here. A main entrance, well, it has been drawn, and it makes a lot of sense here. Manager, it's kind of like the only time that I feel like you'd go for manager, and you can obviously correct me here, you know way more, is if you wanted to go for like a backhanded rush, like just have all five people sprint through and just overwhelm everyone. I think that is the only time that you'd want to go for manager.
There's an opportunity. There's a cool opportunity. I'm thinking about this manager, right? Like everyone knows that you want to be barbing the window if you're going to be barbing this, right? but even these teams are probably talking about it right now. If you actually went manager, right? What you could be doing is just kicking this door, and they'll expect you to be playing this window or playing back here behind the desk, and instead you could just be kicking it and then fighting this guy immediately. They're not going to expect a kick here, and you could actually probably take this accounting very fast. Now, what that would do for you is pretty minimal. What you'd need if you're going to do an accounting push is to open up this door into loans, and then you'd get your guys in through green, and you'd do a green loans take. However, I guess ultimately the purpose of that would be to cut off rotations so that the defender team would not be able to make it back into lobby to play around button. But regardless, that's neither here nor there. The play is obviously not going to be a manager take. It's going to be get two guys into the vault. What I find very confusing here, though, is where are the Molotovs? There are not many Molotovs in vault. Oh, no, they were dropped. Okay, they did drop 4.
Yeah,
okay, I thought they had some in there, but yeah, no, that's good. They have 4 Molotovs in vault. I did see them put down 4 pucks, so that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, Argo's playing auto, and he's playing auto outside of vault, which, well, it cuts through LCG for a loop, but if he gets taken off early, and if Toxic maybe gets to his beloved auto shoddy, it could definitely be devastating for global breakout.
I agree with this. I mean, I think the auto is very good in security. Kuko,
agreed.
Yeah, it's just too late. It's too late to push in, and now Kuko's just wasted a flash. Argo just existing wasted a flash there.
Kuko learning how to hold security as a defender, maybe?
I don't know.
No, you think he's not gonna take anything away from it?
He's not an auto player. He's not Argo. He plays it in a very different style.
Yeah, no, I was making a joke.
No, I got the joke. Yeah, I mean, he did not play that very well the last time, but...
Lin, though. Let's talk about Lin. He gets Plepto, he gets Muse. That's the main fragging power, the main fragging duo, besides Argo on Global Breakout. The wall charge coming out, the button has been pressed, and the mollies have been used now, or at least, well, 2 of them, I believe, maybe 3. Argo will help with his own, and, well, he still has all of this room to play with. He can, you know, either push on these vault doors, he can push through security, he just like you said, him existing not only wastes flashes, it creates a bunch of pressure that I'm not sure LCG is prepared to deal with. 25 seconds left on the clock, and LCG just need to start pushing in. Only one flash from far.
Oh my god.
What I can tell, Kuko though will get in. Kazo is now scared for his life. He needs to run. He turns the wrong way. Kuko takes him off. The molly will deny the bomb defusal for just a few more seconds, but LCG end up having enough. And that is the second round for them. Well,
wow.
4-2 split.
Yeah,
just like you've seen on map 1, but this time it's for GB instead of LCG, and this is probably what you would have expected going into this matchup earlier.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty good. Definitely, LCG is picking up the pace a little bit. That round, to me, was a little weird seeing Argo with the auto there, because, like, yeah, you hold security, but then when it actually comes down to playing this cross into the vault, what can an auto do? You know, you have to, depend on rushing out and not dying immediately to something like a Saber. So, yeah, I don't really know about the gun choices there. That was a little strange. The knack in the vault's okay, but you're trying to win off of 5 Molotov. That's your win condition. 5 mollies, like, could work, but as soon as one of those mollies is botched, or as soon as one player finds an opening through one of them, like Kuko did, that's it. And Kuko found the opportunity to win that round. That was down to Kuko for sure. He managed to get rid of that. Sorry.
No, getting rid of the nade on the vault doors is also like super detrimental. If LCG wasted their grenade somewhere else, like I think the round just would have gone to LCG to GB. Sorry, but saved it. And wait, have we seen this exact? We've definitely seen a very similar C-store in game 1. I don't think it was the exact same one, but
no, it was quite different in game 1, because the C-store in game 1 was essentially
we've had 2 C-stores, haven't we?
Perhaps. Maybe I'm wrong, but this one was definitely not in the first game that I know. But this map is a pretty cool one, I think. There's a lot of... This map is a pretty cool map because it's got a very interesting sort of cutoff in the middle of the map right here between the freezer arcade to tellers. It's kind of this nice little dividing line right through the middle of the map. And how you decide to position in regards to that is kind of interesting. That's what I'll be looking out here for sure. I'm very curious how GB will play a map like this one.
I do want to see that as well. I'm just kind of in the overhead watching your cutoff from a player's perspective. And yeah, well, the map, like you said, effectively is cut in half, so having strong presence on whatever you're pushing is just super detrimental. I do think a storage push is likely. You also see a few scribbles coming out from the attacking side, so, well, that just reinforces my thoughts. A lights play could, in theory, be possible, but I actually want to hear your thoughts on Lights and C-Store because most of the pros or
Sure.
like the DPL players that I've spoken to, everyone just says that out of all the tile sets, first of all, they dislike C-Store the most, and then they also say that Lights and C-Store are always the weakest. So,
In terms of, first, I'll say very briefly that in terms of which tile set people like or dislike the most, I honestly think that that is entirely a product of the different like cultural pockets in DPL. I don't think that there is like a consistent agreement. Some people hate Dome, some people hate Bank, some people hate C Store, but
well, if I may
oh my
interject very
god,
quickly here.
please, we gotta
First
talk
of
about
all,
this round.
Muse with the entry, yeah. But before the
Really
major,
unfortunate.
when I just got into the scene, I messaged all the teams that are playing in the major, and I asked them about a few things. I just wanted to
Yeah,
get a few insights. And I think out of the 8 teams in the major, at least 6 said that C Store was their least favorite. So
that's
that was
interesting.
surprising to me.
I think that's also highly dependent on when you ask them. If you ask them like a year ago, C Store for sure, it was really brutal. But you ask them like 2 months ago, maybe it's a different story. So it kind of goes back and forth. But one thing I want to say quickly before we talk about what's going on in this round is that, yeah, Lights on C Store, not good. That's my thoughts.
No bueno. Okay, well, there's a lot of like close angles, twists and turns, so it makes sense that lights wouldn't be as strong as they're on dome or on
It's all about the ambient lights
factory.
and the E lights. You have to shoot all
Yeah.
the E lights out. Now that Zamali down, I
Mhm.
can talk for a second again. I mean, realistically, what I think is that lights on C Store are underrated, but that doesn't mean that they are good, right? They're underrated, and there is a time and a place for them, and you have to be smart about it, and you have to think about the E lights. But one flare covers a lot of space on this map. So anyway, those are my actual thoughts.
Okay, well, late wall charge coming out. Kuko Talks go ahead have control of the upper part of the map. Kuko's gonna be pushing down, taking out Argo. Lin with the kill onto Muse. It's up to Andrew and Ikazo, and they're separated pretty far out, and they're just pinched between the players of LCG. But Ikazo actually finds a nice long shot onto Toxic. That is exactly what you're talking about. It's all up to EK though, as Lind finally finishes off Ender. The bomb can just be tapped now at this point. EK needs to push out. That's exactly what he does, but he's quickly back. Relinquishes control. He's back in tellers. He shoots through the hole, and he actually finds another one. But again, you can just keep tapping the bomb. Lando there with the saber and a flashbang, by the way. Oh my god, why are you turning away?
Why?
That was
What am I looking
very
at?
risky. That was very risky, but it ended up working out. They're just baiting
Well,
Kazo. There we go. Finally taken off.
Lando's the one with a lot of HP. Him putting his back there isn't the worst crime in the world, but that did look really rough for a second. Because in a possible miracle, that could have been Ikazo getting a couple headshots and then tapping Lind with a stray 9mm, just grazing past Lando. But
I mean, if
that
anyone's
didn't
gonna
happen
clutch
that
this
way.
one out, it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be EK again. He's not like one of
Maybe.
the people on GB known for fragging specifically, but I think his just game
He's
sense, his
smart. Yeah,
understanding of the game is
yeah,
like
it's
kind of out
good.
of this world.
It is really good. I don't know. Just he has a gat and a mop that round. His job should have been done a lot earlier, and his team should have been picking up the slack. I don't know if you noticed, but Ender was playing behind a shelf in the storefront. He was really the one
Hmm.
that had to find a way to win that round, and he was the one that had to just get that pick on Lind as well. But he didn't because they tore up the shelves. There was holes in all the shelves, so when he actually
Yeah.
tried to take the swing, he was in full view, and that was not good for him. That's pretty funny to
Argo
watch.
dying early was also, pretty bad for them.
Yeah.
Well, Argo didn't get any damage in, by the way. This was his first round, I think, where that happened. So there's that. Lin, though, 300 damage added to his counter. Ikazo with 320. So they're
Hmm.
both putting in work. But,
Yeah.
well, hasn't been enough. It's 4-3 again, and we're seeing this back and forth from game one once again. LCG are slowly but surely
Yeah.
pulling back.
Yeah, LCG does have the clacker maintained. They have a saber, they have a nade in their truck as well, and they've got 2 door charges left. So they have like pretty straightforward rounds here for the next little while. And you know what? They're probably tempted to do some LCG shenanigans here, which is going to include probably some split pushes and maybe power again. I'm not actually sure about that one because how many people were alive there? 2. They probably picked up, had 2 MVGs. One's in the truck already. Someone probably forgot theirs last round. They might be able to hit power with a few players, and the rest of them maybe take black tires with like a flashlight and just play around observation or something like that. But
Well,
I don't know. The jungle
the
rush is
thing,
okay with power.
yeah, sorry. The thing with LCG shenanigans is that when it's going good, it's going great. But then we also have, times where LCG there's their shenanigans, and it's like the start of this specific game where they just were, I think, 0-3 down just because
Yeah,
they were doing their shenanigans and it just wasn't working, and they didn't know when to stop. They were like, okay, let's just throw them off with this. Okay, we lost. Let's do this on the next style set, and it was even wackier than their previous plan. So,
yeah.
I
I
think they
mean,
kind of went back to the basics, right,
they
with the
they
last few
stabilized.
rounds.
Yeah, they found a way to just come back to playing a regular game again. I'm a little worried about this play if they don't really think about and value base. Because the key here is that once the power's off, these super long range angles with so much cover up here on the north side of base, that's what they want to use to just cover the map, right? You want to take this side of the map. This is my cheese wedge of this game, right? If they decide for that.
Yeah.
So I'm a little worried about that. Plebdo's position here actually does look straight into that lander. He could get a pick here immediately, and I expect he might.
No.
Oh, he's just shooting a little high as well, and not on the kick either.
Well, there we go. The pit break has been established.
Oh,
So
look at
going to be
Argo's
the first
spot.
point of contention. He swings, he gets the kill. That is Kuko down. Lin falls short thereafter, and well, it looks like LCG is going to be in the backhand. Once again, going into round 8. The flashes are coming out, and they have some pit control established, but they're just being shot into Tomorrowland. It's not going well for them. But Muse is low on HP. Plebdo's taking a lot of damage. Argo has been nicked a little bit. There we go. Saber shots coming out. Plebdo out of contention for the round. 125 left on the clock. And LCG, they have so much work to do, but it's doable.
Yeah. There's so much utility down now. Lando needs to push Ikaza, but they have no idea that he exists right now. He's been completely silent this round.
EK ready, EK ready. There we go. Flash is coming out. Lando not looking the right direction. Actually, he is.
Oh,
there we
wow.
go. EK gets shut down. That was unexpected, but well, good for LCG, I guess. 2v2 now. And Muse once again.
There's util on Toxic. Lando needs to pick that up. He's been called back to go take it. There's a minute left on the clock. Admiral has a smoke grenade in hand, and Muse has 1 HP. This is very winnable for LCG.
Yeah,
but
speaking of utility.
Yeah.
Still 2 mollies in the pocket of GB, and if Muse can stay alive long enough to use his, I think that's one of the round-winning conditions here. There's a nice cross-fire going on between Render and Muse, but Lando is going to be pushing up. The fact that I like is that Admiral is so far away, he's not really there to help Lando, and so if Lando dies without getting at least 1 pick, he's just, you know, LCG loses this round. But the time is running out. Admiral's not sure on what to do. His positioning has been faltering, and that is something that, well, I've been complimenting him on it, and it's just not going well. There we go. A nice molly came out from Muse, exactly what I was talking about. Ender with a few shots, but going to be Muse finishing Lando off with the molly. Admiral just going to save the Saber now for the final round of this
Ender
set.
will get called to push him 100%. He has a Gruber SD.
Absolutely.
He probably will get this pick too. Yep. Well done to Ender there for sure. That's a
yeah.
huge ammo Saber. What on earth are you doing? You fire like 3 shots at Plebdo and decide to just keep going? I mean, what on earth? Taking a 3 magazine Saber on beach here in a situation where you're never going to get the chance to shoot all that ammo. That's going to be a huge boon for GB in the next round.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ikazo on the Saber. He traditionally does way better with the Saber than he does with the Mop. He's known to be nasty in both, but I think Saber is really his specialty. So again, seeing EK on it, I wouldn't be surprised. And well, we were talking about how shaky his aim has been today. With you know, Saber is kind of more forgiving because you can just kind of shoot. You don't need to reload for 17 hours after you fire your first bullet. So I guess there's that. Argo again putting in massive damage. We're 3/4 done with this game.
I want to talk about this. Do you see this barb? Do you know what he's doing right now?
No.
Okay, so if you stand on top of... Yeah, there's Admiral figuring it out too. If you stand on top of the spool, you can jump to the bar and then walk around. So Argo's actually suggesting to deny that by actually barbing the spool so you can't make the jump, which is kind of smart.
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah. Also, I believe in the last round, or on the C-Store round, pardon me, on the C-Store round, someone in Twitch chat said, why did Ikazo bring Mop on C-Store? Mop on C-Store is extraordinarily viable right now in this game. It is definitely not a bad idea. The risk is obvious. You won't have it for your long-range maps if you lose the map, and then that might be a bigger detriment than the benefit, but the Mop is very, very good on C-Store, right? So you can absolutely take it in positions where you know you'll be doing a C-Store storefront open, or you'll be taking it even just to play in those sort of cut-off maps that I was talking about, where the map is kind of clearly cut right in 2, and you can kind of use the Mop to help solidify that cut-off line. But I don't know. Yeah, them not having it here, but having the Saber probably evens out. Maybe it's even in their favor now. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, and I just want to circle back to the Mop on the C-Store. I feel like because C-Store is so, you know, close quarters, there are so many twists and turns, and the enemy's almost always in your face. On C-Store, if you bring them up, you need to be even more coordinated with your team. You need to have your, you know, teammates playing with you, watching stuff for you, opening for you, maybe swinging with you. And I'm gonna be honest, this is not what we've seen GB do today. Yes, they're up currently. They did manage to come back on Game 1, but you know, the usual coordination coming out from GB and what we've been seeing today just really hasn't been up to par. So
Let's
I
see if
do want
Argo
to
can manage to make use of the Saber. I mean, it has a ton of ammo. He's got the pixel peak going right through that door frame.
That is a nice pixel, actually. Yeah, let's.
I'm kind of rooting for him here. I hope he lands a nice little clip here.
Aren't you rooting for whoever is losing?
I'm rooting for whoever is going to punish them for dumb mistakes. Giving them that much Saber ammo is their fault.
Okay, that's fair enough. Plebdo, though, will get the entry onto Lando just as he enters into club. It's just Wallbang galore now. Plebdo and Muse having a pick at LCG through those walls. Toxic there to help out as well. Toxic actually pushing through. Ender in kitchen could be dealing massive damage, but his shots aren't quite connecting. Plebdo will fall. Toxic needs to go for a second one there. Musey, though, is ready for the refrag.
Nice
It's going to be
wallbang from Ender,
actually. Yeah. Extremely nice shot, very important kill. Muse is extremely low on HP though, so if LCG hunts him down, and if they shut him down fast enough, because they still have a minute to work with, then, well, it's a 3v3, and I think they're in a prime position to actually win this one out. Still a bunch of utility in their pockets, you know, a smoke, 3 flashes, a nade just got tossed out, by the way, so there is that. They destroyed the barb and club. What?
Okay, they're going.
They want to jump. They want to jump.
Ikazo barbs it. Oh my god, now Admiral's stuck on a barb. He's got no choice.
Probably the best reaction barb.
Wow.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep. It is what it is. 35 seconds left. All falling apart. It's all up to Kuko to close this one out. EK on the auto shotty will clean him up. And, well, it's all looking up global breakout at the moment, it seems.
Yeah, that was really nice. I mean, this was smart, right? They gave the sniper to Argo. They gave Ikazo the auto shotgun. It worked out great. Ikazo got a couple picks there. Even Ender had a moment to shine there with that beautiful wallbang on Toxic. Plebdo gets traded out very nicely, and then Argo can clean it up with Ikazo's late barb. That was phenomenal. Some really bright, just really intelligent decisions from GB in terms of barbing the spool and then having a late barb so that when they blow the barb on the spool, they can immediately shut it down again. And that really locked Admiral in. I could tell Admiral was, you know, he kind of jumped the gun there on that kick, right? His team really should have been pushing the site before he kicks that so he can cut off the north side of the bomb site room, but he saw the barb go down and he thought, oh, crap, I'm dead either way. I'm just going to kick this, which is the wrong mentality to have, right? Be useful even if things don't look good for you in that moment, you know? Try and just stay alive and then kick it at a time when you can maybe get a flashbang in, maybe flash the floor and then kick it or something like that. So I think that was a big blunder from Admiral that round because maybe he gets Argo and then the round is a very different story, but who knows? Coming back to the C-Store now, Rising Hall. Again, you know, we probably won't see LCG with the mop here, but this is what we're talking about. You can cut the map off right down this line, right? You can have a barb set up in here or somewhere in freezer. You can play an auto shotgun close here. You could have a mop or something in tellers and cut off this whole sight line here. There's a lot of potential for very different plays here. And obviously, GB wants to go for this fun double charge. You can door charge and wall charge and instantly clack right into tellers. And the cool thing about this, I wouldn't say cool. I think this is silly because C-Store is a neat map because the power and the tellers have a connection, right? If you turn off the power, the tellers can't be open. But on this map in particular, the power is in a shed. So they give you a really impossible power to touch as a defender, so you can't control that. And then they gave attackers an instant tellers take with this double charge. And yeah, it's a double charge, but that's tantalizing because, hey, if you get the double charge down, you have all of Storefront open, and what? The defenders can't turn off power because you have a guy outside here sitting in a truck just watching you. So it's a very one-sided situation if the attackers decide to take the double charge. The only defense you're going to have against that is something like an auto and a really good molly at tellers. And we don't see that. We see Toxic playing the auto all the way at green. And we see, actually, we do have the mop in Lin's hands. So, I don't know. Maybe that'll be... Okay, Kuko. Okay, Kuko.
Well, Kuko moment. That's not something you can afford to do, especially on match point. Especially when you get smoked off. Yeah, you were right to draw the question mark. I'm going to add a few of my own there. Because...
Right.
He just wants to get on CS.
Oh,
After not winning one, just speed running. So Toxic, though, he will refrag. He will take out Plebdo. And, well, Plebdo, he hasn't been having a great game. He's currently right in the middle of the scoreboard, outfragged by Argo and Ikazo, but still above Musey and Ender. And speaking of Musey, he just needs to step it up because I've hyped him up. I said it's a justifiable choice to put Dylan out and put Muse in. And, well, Muse hasn't really given us any reasons, at least not frag-wise. And that is exactly what I said he should be brought on for Argo against the kill onto Lindo. And there you go. Finally, the double charge is out. Admiral reacts fast enough to fall back to Arcade and potentially even storage should he need to. Ender finds the first one. Toxic is not able to refrag with the auto. It's all falling apart for LCG. Toxic, 20 HP. Pick up the Gruber instead. The bomb is being tapped though. He needs to start pushing out. It's all up to him. He
Ooh.
finds the first one. He's the only one that can keep LCG in contention for this map. But he's shut down by Kaza on the Saber. And, well, game 2 just went to Global Breakout.
I mean, 7-3 is still not bad for LCG, right? These are still rounds they're taking, and they're decent rounds. But this game was a totally different story than the last one. What happened?
No, I still think what I said earlier was true. I feel like pressure of almost beating GB,
Yeah,
which I think LCG also thought, unfeasible before today. I think it
yeah.
just really got to them.
I think
I
you're right.
think
I think if they did manage to 7-5 them, this maybe would have been a better second game. But yeah, the fact that they couldn't close it out probably had a big effect on them. All right, I'm taking a look at the stats right now. Maybe we could get this up on the stream. I'm not sure, but I am looking at Argo actually pulling far ahead of Plebdo this game with over 200 damage ahead of him, which is pretty irregular. Well, actually, not. Argo does tend to top damage, but Ikazo making a comeback and even coming ahead of Plebdo, which is pretty cool. And not only that, but we also see not a whole lot of damage on Toxic this game. And in fact, I don't even think he pulled off a lot with the auto. Waiting for Boxy to return here in just a moment. But yeah, that was a pretty cool game too.
I'm so sorry. I was coughing and I stay muted. That's on me.
No worries, man. Caught me off guard. But yeah, I'm just looking at the stats right now. What do you make of them?
Well, I really want to talk about Plebdo for a second because he's
Yeah.
usually the person that you expect to have him at the top of the scoreboard, and maybe he has an off game if he's not really showing up. He's like second on the scoreboard. The fact that he's third, yes, he's close third, but he's still outfragged by both Ikazo, who is IGLing as well, and then Argo.
Yeah.
You can justify Ikazo. I don't think so, really. Plebdo also went from 4 and 6 on entry, which was already kind of low for him. He went to 2 and 4 on entry, which is even lower for him. And again, it's an okay for it's an okay stat line for any other player. But I think he set the bar for himself so high that he can't afford having games like this, especially in playoffs.
What's even weirder, right, is that Kuka wasn't the one that won those, right? It was Lind and Toxic, I think. Maybe it was Admiral once, but Kuka goes 0-3 on his openings this game and tries to go for a lot of those weirder, very Kuko-esque strats where he's just jumping out of the storefront with a knack and things like that. And he ends up going bottom damage, like, by far, which is really upsetting because he played phenomenally well in the first game.
Well, see.
Okay. Boxy has died.
Yes.
Once again.
I hate it here. I absolutely hate it here. That was an internet moment. I think Kuko, though, yeah, he was just checked out after game 1. He was like, I want to get on CS. I think he already has CS loaded up behind due process, just both games running in parallel, so he can switch as soon as possible. DM Tommy said, yo, get on due process. But we're gonna throw it to a 5-minute break again. We need that. The casters need that, and the viewers need that. And don't go anywhere because we have a third map to be played out. And potentially, if LCG somehow win this out, we could be going to overtime, Rev.
Yeah. I don't know. This is gonna be a weird game, but I'm pretty sure GB will close it out here in the next game.
Yeah. We're back, aren't we? Back for game 3. And I'm still joined by Revenant. I'm still Boxy. We're still here. We're still chilling. We have another game to go, though. First one, for anyone that, may have joined us late. First one was a draw between Global Breakout and LCG, and that is not something that anyone would have expected to happen. Then, a lot of people tuned into game 2 because, well, they heard the word that LCG is actually putting in a lot of work, that they're actually a very competent threat to Global Breakout, and Global Breakout kind of took the reins on that one. They had a very strong lead for most of the match. LCG found a few rounds, but ended in a pretty convincing 7-3 in the end. And, well, now we have the deciding map, I guess. And if LCG somehow, some way win, we could potentially even be seeing overtime. Like you said before, like I said, going into game 2 even, I think whoever wins game 2 is going to be the winner of the series. And, well, that was Global Breakout. They only need to tie. They only need 6 rounds. If Global Breakout gets 6 rounds, well, we are...
Yeah.
We're
The
done.
other benefit for them for GB is that they're so practiced on these double charges where they try to close out games early that they're ready for just taking 6 rounds. We could see a second round maybe in the last quarter that they need. They could probably just go for a double charge or even like something ridiculous like a triple charge and just win the series because that's kind of how they roll. So I'm expecting to see something like that.
Right. When GB's vibes are high, it usually takes them a long time to get there. If they don't have like a warm up scrim and if that doesn't go well, then it takes them such a long time to get started. But once they do, their vibes are so high, and then they come up with all the silly stuff that they still pull off. They still make it work. So definitely props to them on that. Let's see if the teams have queued already. It looks like they have. So well, let's get into the game, I guess.
All right.
Also, when are we getting a Revenant face cam?
You got to pay me
How much?
enough.
I think we should start a community GoFundMe for this. I think everyone would
I'm
enjoy.
okay with this. I'll do it if there's money on the line.
Well,
Anyway, I can see maps now. Dome Factory C Store is the first half. Dome Factory C Store. So the triple power threat. So there's going to be 3 power maps in a row unless there's a weird map that doesn't have anything. Toxic says we may have a problem. Lynn didn't load in. So there may be a pause called here or something like that. But we'll see what happens. Lynn says I am in. Argo says skill issue. Okay,
oh,
that's fine then.
well, solid arguments.
I'll figure out if that's the case. But for now, we'll talk about Dark Adder. Dark Adder is a dome map that's very vertical. It's very, very long vertically, but this does offer a lot of interesting corners, especially around Temple to this power and Pit around the corner here. What that's going to offer is you can probably sit up on some of these ledges or in some of these corners with an auto shotgun or even sit in the water right below Temple with something sneaky and let them do a drop down sort of rush. Beach does offer less power, less impact on a map like this because it's such a vertical map. You don't have this long range going across Beach, so Beach is generally more of a rush position where you can kind of just poise to maybe hold some Temple stuff and then rush into either Pit or rush into South Temple so you can take observation. I have no idea what they're going to do here. It looks like straightforward 3 barb setup. What is interesting is they're opting for a barb for Pit, which actually I don't always get to see because usually I'm more worried about the Beach people coming up through base into the Pit and playing this angle here, as opposed to something like them splitting up through the power. I guess what I'm trying to say is you can just jump over this barb. I'm not really that worried about this barb. They can jump from behind cover and end up right here, and they're still in cover from this box and Pit. So I don't know. I think GB will be smart. They'll look at the barb and they'll go, we're going to jump over it. We don't care.
What do you think about kill domes like these? Because I feel like this is one of those kill domes where I just load in and I go, oh my god, not this map. It's just so unconventional for a kill dome, and it's so different, and not necessarily in a good way.
I am okay with it. I like this map. There's some fun strats you can do with a wall. Okay, that's gonna be.
I guess GB technically gets the entry onto Admiral, but there Argo finish. Evens it out with a team kill on Ikazo. Actually, Lando finds one. Well, soon thereafter, Kuko
peeks
and a second one falls to the grenade, if I'm not mistaken. But, well, technically it is a 1v2. Muses left all alone. Somehow, some way, this round fell apart oh so quickly. The bomb has been tapped, and there is no Molotov to deny that. But there is a mob. Muse swings, wins.
Nice.
Toxic finally ties it up. And the first round goes to LCG against, well, literally all odds. They lost their first player to the Pit.
Yeah,
I mean,
they flashed him, right? So they flash him. He's fully flashed. He jumps in. This is what I mean, right? Like the Pit hold to me doesn't exist in Pit. It exists in observation. It does. You don't really hold it from inside Pit. So that barb was questionable because they can jump past it. You can't really play it. But wow, Kuko saved that round. Good lord, 300 damage that round, taking out Ender and Plebdo from full HP both with a knack. One at close range, one at mid range. What was impressive about that specifically was that he peaked exactly as the flash pin was pulled by Plebdo. That couldn't be perfect timing, couldn't be better timing. It was impeccable, and it's what saved them the round because that pressure that they would be able to put on Bomb if GB got onto Bomb and played the head glitch with enough people would be more than enough to deal with the Mop and the Gruber that we're going to retake from Long. So that was very, very well played from Kuko, and of course from Lando as well, who did just under 300 damage. And Muse with a 3k, but those are all sort of just assists. He had 100 damage.
Well,
pretty crazy round.
we're back on, or well, yeah, we're back on Factory. We've definitely seen Factory quite a few times throughout this series. That I
We've played
just
a few factories, I think, in this
we've
game.
played a few factories, especially the Donut Factory. But no, this one is more conventional, and I like this. I like this is it's standard. It's you know what to expect. Much more fun of this than the Donut Factory. Much more of this than the previous Dome. But we'll definitely see what ends up happening here. Kuko's blessing us with a drawing every single time he's on a
I love
defensive
them.
side.
They're
So
great. I love Knack. Yes, he's got
is that Argo?
He's got no, it's the troll face going crazy. It's the
Oh.
troll face off his meds. Saying,
Okay,
I love
well.
the Knack, I love the Knack. Yeah,
Oh.
Kuko's getting working with the Knack, that's for sure. This charge position on server farm is pretty cool because what you get off of this is not only a lot of pressure on lower walkway, and probably with power you have a lot of space down here to take out the E-lights and then just sit in the dark in the open, but also you get a nice cutoff in this map. Again, we're going to cut the map in half right along the walkway right through here. And that cutoff, you're going to be able to play with a head glitch. If this isn't blown, then Toxic's role is going to be to sit on this stairway. But of course, we know as casters that is the plan right now to blow that. So more so, we're going to be interested in how Toxic deals with this. We may even see a Flogel Barb, which would be weird because I don't think anyone but Lando can play that, but it would be cool to see a Flogel Barb. Nice shot from Flynn. Take it away. Holy cow. So much is happening.
Was that a nade? I think it was a nade. Yeah. Okay. Well, Argo finally stops Kuko. He found one. Lind found the entrance to Pleb though. But Pleb and Argo both, falling so early before even getting to the building. Absolutely devastating for Global Breakout. There we go. I like the early mollies coming out from Toxic because it does give his teammates.
Yeah. Let's watch
matter though. Kuko and Lando, they both fell, but there we go. No.
Perfect.
Yes. Now there we go. Okay, let's go. He found one through the barb. Badly shut down by Kazo, but he's done his part. He slowed down the attackers, and he's also chipped the HP off of them. Kazo and Ender, they have about 150 combined between the two of them, so I do want to see how they end up positioning. But it won't matter for long. Lind to support with the mop, long range. He takes off Ikazo before Ikazo can do anything. Well, up to Ender. He's going to be saving the Saber. And, well, I think Admiral hears that. I think he's just going to push towards server farm and maybe try taking out Ender. One matter though.
He's going to be a save.
Very careful in the corner. Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be a save. That's reasonable to save here for sure. I really like that opener. What the heck, man? Kuko pulling off that kill on Argo with Lin with a.
I was very focused on. I was very focused on server. I didn't even quite notice what.
You didn't pick up
there.
On that? Yeah, I just did a little too late, but I mean, hey, the viewers caught it. That was really cool. Yeah, I mean, listen, GB getting played at their own game, right? GB plays the greens really aggressive. Now we have Lind and Kuko doing the same thing, and guess what? They took out Plebdo and Argo that round. Unfortunately, I do want to say, like, it did end up a 2v2, right? And how did that happen? That happened because Argo trades Kuko with the nade, and then Ikazo finds a pick on Lando. Lando played this wrong, right? Lando, to be extra safe, you have to remember, holy cow, we just killed Plebdo and Argo, right? Not only are those big, important picks, but it's two people that are dead. It's a 5v3 in the situation. Well, technically, Kuko died right after, so we'll say it's a 4v3. In a 4v3 situation, you need to chill out, calm down, reposition, not run back into where they're breaching, right? Because Ikazu's going to be ready to try and equalize. And he did manage to equalize at 2v2, but Lind managed to find a way to, once again, get another pick that round and make that an easy win. But they played that a little hairy. I did see it get to a 2v2, and I was a little worried there because it shouldn't have gotten to a 2v2. It should have stayed a 4v3. It should have stayed together, kind of clump up near dock maybe, and just play a hard hold near the server farm.
Can we talk about the fact that GB combined currently has about 50 more damage than Kuko by himself?
Oh my god. No, I will pull that up.
Kuko at 522, EK at 200, Muse at 130, Argo 90, yeah. Ender 60, Plebdo 0 in 2 rounds, one of which he's died in as the entry. So
you're right. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. 2-0 for LCG versus GB. Feels pretty cool right now. I think Kuko closed CSGO. I'm just going to guess.
Keep in mind, the only person in LCG without any damage yet is Admiral. Everyone else is like 200, 300. Like, those are solid numbers for 2 rounds, and Kuko is still that far up ahead. Global Breakout, not having the best start. It feels like we're watching game 2, but reverse. Now, like, LCG just,
it's early to say that, but sure. I think I can understand you saying that.
Well, yeah. I mean, Global Breakout also just kind of started game 2 uncontested. They racked up a few rounds before LCG eventually found a response, and I think this is going to be the case. I think LCG maybe get another round here. Or even maybe Global Breakout actually find the first one of their own. But LCG pulling up ahead this early, I think, kind of puts their mental again. They see the win on the table. And even though, even if they win this one, which they need to even get, are you drawing Among Us? Of course you will.
I want to point out that everyone plays these Among Us maps differently. Everyone has a different philosophy. I'm pointing out the Among Us because I'm going to refer to these little corners here as Among Us feet, and they're opting for the right Among Us foot, because I often see teams take the left one, and these have different benefits and different disadvantages, and I want to highlight that. GB's opting for this right side one because this one covers freezer, but a lot of teams will opt for the left one to cover fridges and then take tellers fast. So I don't know. What do you think? Why are they opting for the right one this time?
Never in life would I think I would be talking about Among Us feet on cast. But I definitely do want to see what they end up doing with this. Like you said, I think both have like pros and cons. It just depends on what you end up doing. But right one doesn't really have all that important angles besides the fact that you can kind of hold tellers in here.
Fair enough, yeah.
Everything else, I don't know. You have a cutoff on arcade. You can have this long angle if anyone tries to push out from behind fridges. It just clears most of it. I think these shots are too high.
Lind is saying hello to Muse right now through the bulletproof window.
Hello from the other side.
Oh, is Toxic gonna tuck in close on the breach here? That could be pretty exciting because I doubt they're actually gonna put a flashbang on him.
They do. Yeah.
Maybe they don't see him though.
I think, well, if he gets aggro here right after the molly, I feel like he could do massive damage because even if the flash comes out, it's going to be, after the molly.
Oh, look at Toxic here. He has a
window. Yep.
This is huge for Toxic. Look how close Ender and Plebdo are. This is huge.
No one's checking him. There
huge,
we go.
Huge.
Falls Ender falls as well. Toxic is insane.
What a guy peeking again.
But Lind on the refrag. There we go. We're back into the strides of map 1. This is what LCG were. This is the level of refrags that we've seen LCG have in game 1. And now they're back on it. Yes, Toxic did swing, and it was a dumb swing. But Lind was there on the refrag eventually. And Picasso lost the Saber. So up to Muse to clutch this one out. It's a 1v2. So again, it's winnable. This is the third round in a row where it's down to 1v1, 1v2.
Yeah.
But still, yep. Muse is now tagged down to 15 HP. Even if you sneeze at him, if you scream bad words at him, he will probably die due to the emotional damage that you'll cause to him. So you really just need to chill out here. The fact that Lind is okay. I was gonna say the fact that Lind is on the other side of the barb that he can't back off into tellers is probably gonna be hurtful to him because he gets one shot and if he misses he's probably dead.
Yeah,
but he hit the shot.
He did hit it. I mean, I got a little nervous there for the same reason, but he did hit it. Lind's been playing very, very well, so no complaints there. Let's see, how much damage did GB even pull off that round? Fortunately, I can't pull up the stats just yet, but that's 3 rounds in.
350.
Yeesh.
Yeah, they got some damage.
No. That can't be right? Because he did. No, you are right. 350. Yeah, wow. That was 200 for Ikazo and then 100 for Muse, 50 for Ender, Argo and Plebdo. Argo, listen carefully. Argo and Plebdo at the bottom. Argo 90 damage. Plebdo 0 damage. In what world? Who thought today LCG would play versus GB and Plebdo would walk away in a round out of a quarter with 0 damage?
And
not me.
Kuko is almost at 1k 3 rounds, which is just mind-blowing to me.
He's just popping 300 a round. This guy, he went 300 first round, 276 second round, I think, 288 this round. That should add up, I believe. He just absolutely is just taking out. I mean, he's just taking names at this point. I mean, he's going crazy.
Kuko is the new Plebdo.
He always was, man. This guy, he just never cared, Like Plebdo's in it and he's innovating and he's interested. Kuko's just aloof, man. He's just this. He's sitting high and mighty in Finland just thinking, I want to play CSGO. He doesn't care about this game. But if he did, he'd pull off these 800 damage quarters a lot more, I think. He's crazy.
Yeah, well, I think Kuko didn't realize that due to the draw on map 1, even if they lost, they would have to go to map 3, and that's why he opened CS on game 2. But now, well, he realized he has to play game 3 anyways, and like I said, he closed it, he has all the frames, and he's relentless with the swings. He's unstoppable. He's menacing.
Okay, right away. Interesting, right? Admiral, no flash, no util. Lando's got door charge and clacker, but no one's got a double flash. We're only seeing 3 flashbangs here and 3 smoke grenades. No, we're going to see Admiral take a flash here. So that's pretty minimal utility for this team. considering they are bringing the nade, and Lind is going to throw this the first smoke here. Yeah, I'm not
Um,
really sure how these smokes are going to play out against Blood Don't Ender playing up.
Admiral has 3 saber mags on beach again, which
He
like you
always
said,
does.
this is
As
one
long
of
as he
these
stays on
beach.
beach, it's fine. But like, he needs to use
he-
at least a mag first, like on beach, maybe 2.
I don't know. I like Muzi being aggro behind this pillar. It's a predictable position, but yet it's a strong one because it just
I
gives
wouldn't
you.
predict that. That's smart.
You really?
No,
Okay.
this is pretty cool.
I feel like this is where we see GB play all the time, especially in Dome, is just in these corners behind the natural cover. There's always someone behind there. EK gets the entry onto Toxic. Lendo follows up quite soon onto Plebdo. So, well, Plebdo's going to have 0 damage for at least another round, which is, again, something to cross off of your bingo cards because, well, it's not something you see happen every day. Argo is going to be contesting the jungle breach, or the temple breach, rather. The molly falls a little bit short. Okay, there we go. It extends right onto the doors, but still short. You could sprint through it and not take a lot of damage. Kaza with the mob shot doesn't quite connect onto anyone so far. Still a 4v4. Flashes are there.
Wow.
In EK, he swings to get an easy kill. Lando finds one Lind with a second one. Use one of his own, but it's a 2v3.
Okay, I do want to point out, I really figured Kuko would just use the nade to kill Argo there, because honestly, GB is going to be playing early on. Kaza with a nice pickup on Admiral, 2v2 now. Just a nade in hand on Kuko and Lind on the Saber.
Well, we shall see.
Kaza's out of ammo as well. He's just got a GAT, not even an LS here. So this is a GAT and a Molly and a Grouper. That's all we got right now. So very low eco for both teams in this specific situation.
It is... Okay, it's just a little bit bugged for me.
Oh my god, Kuko!
Well,
he didn't realize.
Another one of these GB ready plays in the corners, but they end up working. And well,
Lin needs to get the call about Ender.
Lin, let's go for it. There we go. EK playing this way too safe. He's not swinging. Lin can absolutely win this. If he, there we go.
Shot.
10 seconds left.
Lin with a 3K. Lando killing Plebdo and Argo that round. This is an amazing showing from LCG.
0 seconds on the clock.
They got it. See, I wasn't even worried. I realized for the average viewer, they're probably thinking, "Oh, they should be hyping that up," and I'm thinking that's 10. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. I was like, it's 10. They got it. But yeah, wow, that was extraordinarily close. The jump shot there was pretty cool to see. Clacker in hand, Saber in hand as well. Wow, wow,
wow,
wow. Kuko that round only picked up 90 damage, but you know what? Lind with 200, landed with 200. Phenomenal showing there. Admiral still hasn't done a single point of damage. So just imagine
actually got 22 out, so, well,
Plebdo did do
I was a liar.
22 damage. Did he have a Gruber that round?
Plebdo now has,
I thought he had a KR.
5 damage per round ADR? I'm not sure, actually.
Come on, now. Guy's done enough for this league. We don't need to bury him now.
I know, I agree.
Oh,
I love Pleb. Again, this is something that Fellow and I often talk about, is especially when GB doesn't have a showing. It's like, you know, when you're the best, you're just everyone's out to get you. Everyone's really gonna be everyone's gonna put in more effort into beating you than any other team. You're always there to be scrutinized. You're always there to be you know, even shed upon by the community when you don't have a performance, and that just comes with being the best. And Plebdo, he's still better than 95% of the players in this league any day.
Well,
if you, yeah,
99.
99. Yeah,
at least. There's no question.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say, like, after today's performance, you can still he's still one of the best players in the league, and you know.
One day does not matter, right? That's not going to affect his total score, right? I mean, this does not matter at all. I think we're focusing too much on him, on his performance being negative here, whereas Argo just stepped up and did 150 there. He did get a full pick. That boosted him a little bit. I'm sure this round he'll get 2 picks, right? He's already aced LCG today. There's no question about how they can perform. I don't know what's going on. I don't know about their comms. I don't know about what's causing this problem, but at the same time, I'm looking at how they're playing. It's not like they're making mistakes that I can point at and say, wow, GB blundered that. What's happening is they're losing gunfights to LCG, right? So maybe you look at that differently, but maybe it's an EU-NA difference issue. Maybe it's a ping thing. I don't know what it is. But in either case, we're not seeing major mistakes. We're just seeing LCG play intelligently, GB play okay. They're not their best showing, but LCG is going to win that. They're just going to push it over the edge a little bit.
Yeah, you were talking in games 1 and 2 about how LCG just had like 1 or 2 people just hard carry, usually with like Kuko and Toxic, and how they were. There we go, Pleb.
The same thing. They've got a knack in the same corner. But this
I'll
time he
run back
won't
to
get
this
punished.
later on. There we go.
There
Argo
is
is
even
gonna follow
Plebdo
up with
and
the
Argo.
Inmar. It's literally the same thing. Well,
Pure revenge there from Plebdo and Argo for having that happen to exactly to them in the same place in the same positions.
they heard me talking smack and they said, okay, enough is enough. We're gonna bring it back. And it's a very strong entry for GB before LCG even got to the building. Kuka will find Argo, but will be refragged soon thereafter by Plebdo. Wow. So we're in a 2v4. Still 2 smokes in the pocket of Admiral. Actually, flashes, excuse me. The UI is a little bit finicky. Muse won't even let Admiral enter, though. That's the Saber drop. Lando can pick it up.
Was that his molly just now through the window?
Maybe.
That was amazing.
Well,
that was you were so clean, so definitive, and Plebdo said, you know what, it's my time. Argo definitely got his pick. He didn't get 2 picks, but Plebdo did. I didn't think Plebdo would.
Pleb got 3 picks. He got 434 damage, and now all of a sudden he's the second person, only behind EK. EK's still far ahead.
Not a good sign. That's still not a good sign. That is not a good thing. But we now have now it's up to Admiral to make up, right? Because Plebdo was doing nothing, Admiral was doing nothing. It was effectively a 4v4. But finally, Plebdo stepped up and said, I will do all the damage in this round, 434 in 1 round, whereas Admiral picked up only 50. So now it's going to come down to, do we have an actual 5v4 scenario? Can Admiral step up finally and start finding picks? Is the issue, you think, Boxy, is the issue right now that he's playing Saber and that his teammates are dying in front of him before he can even do anything? Because when you're in the chair, when you're in the sniper position, right, you can't just swing corners and trade people out as easily, right? It's not the same scenario. It's not the same positions that you're playing. So is that the problem right now, you think? Yeah, I think so, right?
And
that's exactly what? You disconnected. I didn't hear anything you said.
I hate it here. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I sound like that? I hate it here.
No, you don't. You don't at all.
I think excuse me. I think it's definitely a part of the problem that LCG is dying so fast, and that Admiral's kind of on the back lines most of the time and just unable to, really get much done. But also at the same time, I think he is kind of having an off game. I still think that even if your teammates die ahead of you, you can at least get a few shots off, maybe nick a little bit of damage off your opponents, and that hasn't really been the case for the first 4 rounds. Only in the 5th one that we see Admiral actually get some damage across the board. So I think it's a combination of both, really.
Yeah. So I want to point out that LCG only has a wall charge right now, so they're thinking, well, we have a Saber and we have a wall charge. They're probably expecting us to go for a storefront blow. What if we just blew bathroom? No one's gonna expect a bathroom take. Let's take green and let's take bathroom and cut the map in half like this and take freezer. Because I think that's going to be a pretty interesting take. That to be fair though, I think GB will react to it properly. They're going to be playing fridges into freezer. They're going to be playing bomb into freezer. They'll play arcade, which is a late round hold. I think Ender, if he's playing arcade with a knack, it might not be ideal, but nevertheless, I think they'll be able to stabilize the round late into it. Plebdo and Argo, buddies in the middle of storefront, just playing reactive to whatever gets blown wherever they're going.
I do like this reactiveness we've been seeing from both teams, but it's going to be Lind for the entry onto
What is Ikazo doing?
And I'm not sure what exactly was
just
happening
running
there.
Running through the middle of office, through the door.
Taking
really
out
nice
so early. Yeah, that's definitely devastating for Global Breakout. Just losing their top damage dealer, their IGL so early on. But I guess he can, he has the map overview now. He can maybe IGL his teammates. So not everything is lost. The bathroom breach coming out though. The smoke soon thereafter. Argo with the auto shot. He's going to be extremely dangerous there for the funnel that LCG rather is currently creating. But Argo doesn't swing just yet. There we go. It's too late though. He doesn't find any. He takes just damage there. And there we go. Finally, the first kill for Argo, and he makes it out of there alive.
Oh, man.
Plebdo finishes Toxic as Toxic kills Argo. So, well, nice trade at least. Musey Flash, he needs to sprint away. That's exactly what he does. And, well, he's going to live to fight another day. Lind in the middle of the fridges, though. Finally refragged by Plebdo, but maybe it's a little too late. He's going to get pushed out by the plethora of flashes that Kuko and Lando still have on their side. And, well, he really needs to play this one passively.
This is going to come down to, this is Plebdo's moment to shine here, because as long as Muse is just delaying enough, Plebdo from behind that bomb can easily pick them off if they come out of tellers. They've got the button pressed now, right? It looks like we're going to see a rotation. They don't have button pressed yet, but Kuko promises that he can open it, I guess.
Yep, there you go.
That should be an easy pick on Plebdo. No!
Oh, no!
Oh, what? blunder. Kuko too early on the swing, and Lando not playing far back enough that he can figure out where they are. They opt for a rush. Why did Lando run up the right side here when he's got so much cover in the middle of Storefront? If he played right in front of Kuko, they'd be able to probably pinch a lot better.
Well, it is what it is, and while Global Breakout, they're finally getting an answer to all of the, or not even.
What
I
are you
don't
trying to
know.
say here?
I'm trying to say Global Breakout are finally actually getting something done,
Yeah.
but at the same time, they're
So
still
weird.
far behind
No,
LCG.
isn't
Which,
it the case that those words are unnatural to say?
yes,
It's like you can't even find the words to say, "Oh, GB finally figured out how to play again." Like you don't want to say that. It just feels wrong. Obviously, they know how to play. What's going on? We don't know. But what we do know is that they finally found a couple rounds where they played a little bit better. They played normally, and now they picked up the slack. And on this kind of map, on Bank, I think this is where they shine. Right? They play so efficiently, and Bank is a map that demands efficiency. This is where we're going to see them shine. I think in this next half, especially when they swap over to attack and have to play this map. I think that's going to be where the huge difference is seen. Right? LCG does not play Bank very well, in my opinion. But GB has in the past. I wouldn't say that in the last game that was the case, but historically it's been the case.
yeah. Well, GB, they're extremely strong on Bank.
You just cut out again if you can hear me. I apologize, guys, but it does seem
This
like
is
yeah,
my internet going.
no
That
worries.
happens every now and then.
Yep.
Fellow just kind of rolls with it. He's adapted. He's learned to live with it. But
I'm learning to adapt.
hell yeah, adapt, overcome something else that I forgot. GB, they're super known for just playing entrance very aggressively, or at
Yeah,
least they used to be
yeah.
around the time with the major. I think they still do the same thing, but I actually haven't seen them in Bank in a while. At least not any memorable rounds coming to mind. But they usually hold lobby extremely aggressively, and this is not a lobby that you can hold extremely aggressively. What you could do is you could play open vault. That is definitely a
You think so?
possibility.
You don't think you can play this lobby aggressively?
Well, there's very little natural cover. Okay, you can have someone in tellers and then like here, and then if you open vault, that's another possibility. But there's very little natural cover in
I
actual lobby itself. You can only be kind of behind the
I
pillar,
think you
behind the
could be
pillar.
playing pillars. You could have a guy maybe right here, and then they have to flash close to clear at this corner. So while they're peeking this guy can be definitely taking like a KR or something with thick pen and just going for a couple kills here.
Yeah,
But yeah,
if you had a room with doors here, or like just a hallway if it was open, I feel like it would have been much better for the defense to really hold lobby aggro, because you can be flushed out relatively easily, and they will also be playing the closed vault, which is not something that I like seeing from teams, and especially didn't expect from GB. But well, they do have the at least 2 mollies, maybe more. They do have the Goober and the AK, so maybe if the rest of GB can stall on the map long enough, the vault hold will actually hold
yeah.
up.
None of those shots connecting to the X-ray machine yet either. This is pretty good for Lind, who's got 2 flashes ahead here. They just have to find Argo, who's basically playing alone. If they can identify that Argo's alone here, this round is pretty much in the bag because they can kind of snowball off of that.
Absolutely. Platinum, though, and Muse, they could both deal a lot of damage on the flank if
All
they
right,
pick
push is
their
called.
kind of push right. Will they do it, though? There we go. Argo is going to take his
Oh
slide, get
wow,
shut down by
good
Lando
try.
instantly, though, so that's not working out. Plebdo on the flank finds the first one. Kuka's going to be pushing him, and I'm not sure if Plebdo's aware of it.
Oh
There
wow,
we go. He gets
ring
pinched. That
around the
was a really
rosy.
nice pinch. Yeah,
Yeah.
great pinch, though. Now it's all up to Muse to stay alive for as long as he can. The button has been pressed, and Muse, well, they know his location. They're going to be swinging him, but there's no
Go for
flashes
the
being
wall
thrown
bang.
at him just yet. Yeah,
Well,
they're
they need the flashes for Vault, in my opinion, because they know they're going to have mollies. So they kind of have to just take
fair
Muse from
point.
tellers. Yeah, that was the call there. Well done to LCG for making that call, because although it was tempting, they really need Kuko's util. Now Kuko's got to
That's fair.
rotate pretty far here with 20 seconds left on the clock. I think Lin needs to start cooking his flashbang to bait one of the mollies out for Ikazo. Why are they not? Yeah, there it is. He did it. He just baited one, so that's it. That's what they needed. Now Kuko can get the util in. Nade comes out. Lin is awfully close to that. Takes a lot of damage from that.
Well, the first molly comes out.
No.
Ender and Kazo both putting wards, each getting one. Now it's all up to Linden Admiral. Make that just Admiral as Ikazo finds the second one on the round. And it's going to be a very tough one. Basically, no time may just save the AK at this point. Maybe try and deal a little bit of damage to the defender economy. But well, keep in mind, he's only 13 HP. He finds the first one. Can he make it to? Nope.
Almost.
Ikazo, 3 on the round. Or actually, no, 3.
Man, that whole round was so good from LCG, and then all of a sudden, Kuko throws a nade at his teammate instead of into the vault. Like, he misses the second barb. Maybe that's not his fault, but Lin plays so close to that the frag grenade when it goes off that he takes about half his health and damage, I think. That was just not efficient at the end. We saw such a good round. I think they played off that high, and then they realized, Vault is a good position to play if you've got two mollies, and you've got two players in there. That was rough. Like they had everything they needed to win that. Kuko just took too long to get back into lobby. That was just a big blunder from LCG, I think. Right at
Just to
the
put
end.
into perspective how low everyone in LCG was, Ikazo in the late round he got 3 kills. He only did 81 damage in all 3 kills. On the flip side,
Yep.
Pleb though, he only got 1 kill, but he got almost 300 damage last round. So, well, he's at the top of the scoreboard again. 1,000 damage
Wow,
just
how
peak.
fast he recovered. That's crazy.
That was what, 3 rounds?
Yep, that was 3 rounds, and he's immediately at the top again. Kuko only got 50 damage that round, but he still has more damage total than Plebdo at 1,151, with Lin not too far behind at 938. LCG still has the top damage positions because they had more rounds taken, but now we're starting to see it kind of equalize again. GB 3 rounds now to LCG's 4. This round, I think, is going to determine the tempo of the rest of the game, and we're probably going to see GB take this one because Bank and Kill Us is where they shine, I think, right now anyway. They haven't been playing the C-Stores all that well, though they did take a nice defense round previously. Maybe I'm wrong, but this whole game, this whole series has been kind of all over the place, so I'm not going to make calls about specific tile sets anymore, I don't think.
This is really not a match that I would have expected to take so long, and keep in mind the possibility of overtime is actually still very much on the table. Also, you just need to find 3 more for GB find 3 more of their own. Keep in mind, due to, the first game being a draw, second one being a GB win, if you've tuned in late, well, GB only needs 6 rounds. If they guarantee themselves a draw, they have won overall. So, as soon as GB hits 6 rounds, even if, they haven't won the game yet, we will just stop the game. So, whichever team wins 3 first, they win this game.
Let's also talk about this pillbox decision here. They're actually taking the door charge and the wall charge into pillbox, and then they're going to be wall charging out into hallway. So they have to go for a club take, but if you look at the defender positions, it's all on this one spot. It's all right next to pillbox.
EK finds a very nice body shot onto Lind, I believe it was. Yeah, it was Lind. So Lind is now going to be... He's going to be very careful about the fights he takes throughout the round. I'm sorry, English just became super hard for some reason. Hog is going to be contesting Kitchen with the Ingmar fallback later on. There we go, Ikazo.
They don't see Plebdo. They do.
No, what?
Oh my god.
Oh no, that was so close. Ikazo with the second one on the round. So he is cauterizing the wound that LCG is causing the global breakout. But Admiral finally finds a kill of his own. Music is going to be the one to fall. And we still have 80 seconds of the clock here around.
Oh my goodness. There's so much aggression put in this reception, but why? You're going for a double charge into club and pillbox. You only need like one guy to lurk around kitchen for a little bit here. Kuko has so much utility on the floor here that he has to now micromanage, and Ikazo basically just has his back to a wall. He's totally safe right now. This is a very, very awkward position for Kuko to be in, and Admiral not really having any impact. You're still worried about Kitchen when Kitchen is over. Wow, Kuko, nice pick on Argo though.
Well, it is a 2v2, but Admiral is low on HP, and he has the save.
Admiral could easily kick and flash right here, and Ikazo could be dead, no problem. Kuko needs to be watching for Ikazo. Has no idea he's close now.
Ikazo still so aggressive with the mob, finally gets finished with the get, so that's going to be a round for global breakout by all accounts. Ikazo goes for another swing, but it's actually Ender with the wallbang doing some more damage to Admiral Crunchberry. He just saves the Saber at this point. It's going to be a battle of the snipers, up close and personal, and, well, Admiral is just sprinting away, somehow makes it out with his life alive.
But what does Ikazo find on the ground here? Can he find the door charge and Clacker? I mean, the wall charge is just outside around the corner. Oh, and he does find the pick! The question is, does Ikazo check outside? He's not going to look. If he looks right now, he'll find a wall charge. Look right, Ikazo, look right. He doesn't. Does Ender look?
No.
They didn't expect it. Wow. So they use the door charge, but that wall charge is actually going to get unclaimed, and that's going to be left outside. So keep that in mind. GB doesn't know that they brought the wall charge. That's still in play, theoretically, right? That's still a part of how GB will think about the next round, even though it might not be used. Yeah, please.
4 kills for Ikazo on the mop. Absolutely phenomenal. Second of all, 450 or 477 damage actually off of that.
Wow.
Argo will overtake Plebdo again just by 30 damage, but, well, 25 actually, but, well, Plebdo's back in the middle. Argo now second. So Argo and Plebdo, they've both woken up. They're kind of contesting and racing for, the second spot on the scoreboard. Ikazo is still currently, so there is that. But their damage has been extremely low. They are 0-0 in entry, both of them, so they just haven't been taking those entry fights, I guess.
Yeah,
And yeah.
I don't know. Ender and Admiral, yeah, neck and neck in terms of damage. Again, it feels like there's definitely 4 players, maybe 3 players on each team that are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and then a couple players on both teams that are kind of falling behind. And I think it's just a competition of who can start enabling one of their bottom players, right? And those bottom players, they could be in a support role, and that's fine. But unfortunately for LCG right now, it's not a support position. It's actually the saber. You could call that support because support is such a vague term, but I mean he is a sniper. Sniper should have a lot of damage in this game. So just to be clear, I do think that if one of those players can start putting out a lot more damage, maybe, or finding a lot of trades, then totally that team will be the one that is victorious in this match. But 4-4 right now. Again, remember that GB thinks they have the wall in all likelihood, so they might be planning around some kind of like jumping wall charge in pit, or who knows, maybe a double charge just blowing both the red doors. Pardon me, but it looks like LCG just wants to take Lando over to pit and put a door charge down. I do think that's a little bit risky because this observation is a very good mob position to play, and Ikazo is warmed up now. So they're going to have to probably put a saber outside. You could probably get a saber all the way down in this bottom corner of the entire map in the mid ground and actually watch right through the red door all the way to odds. There might be an angle there, but unfortunately with the tilted building here, I'm not totally certain if that's going to work.
Well, definitely gonna see
No,
what ends up
yeah,
happening. Kuko also draw a
that's not
pretty
going to work.
hard, wrote CS in on the map, so
Yeah, I just
there's
double checked
that.
that
He
angle. That's not going to work. So just to be clear, they're going to have to put a lot of people like in the pit for this to work. And Plebdo is in there, and I'm pretty sure without a flashbang, Plebdo and Ikazu are just going to like splinter in pit and take out Lando pretty easily. So maybe they're just buying a lot of time, making a lot of noise. I don't know. This is a very weird round already in terms of the setup and utility.
Argo really hoped for a jungle push. He was there with the Clacker, but sadly no one actually went there with any explosives. It's gonna be Lando pushing into pit though. He's already bridged it, and Plebdo's gonna swing him. Don't mind the head leech. Plebdo just demolishes Lando. That's a nice entry for him. Desperately needed one as well. Now the rest of LCG will be pushing through beach and base,
Oh
potentially
wow!
jungle at some point. Admiral gets one, Kuko a second one, and well, in a split second, LCG somehow takes the reins on the
Yeah,
round again, and there's going to be a
Toxic put a
next
lot
one
of
of
pressure
contention.
there. He
Yeah.
he pinched Plebdo and forced Plebdo to peek out long, and Kuko ends up winning that fight. He was ready for it. That was good communication. Not ideal flash from Kuko, but good positioning and movement. Argo will not land that shot.
Smoke galore coming out. Toxic with the Black Tar pushing in first. No one there because Argo fell back quite a while back. And
Look at
Argo, he
Ender.
is
Look at Ender. He's hiding in the rocks.
the mob. Ender hides in the right direction again. See, this is what I was talking about. GB always does this stuff on Dome specifically. They always hide behind stuff like these pillars, these rocks. Kills are coming out. That's 2 for Ender on ground. Lin found one, and Kuko finds one of his own. It's all up to Ender. Clutch just went out, and they know where he was just 10 seconds ago. The bomb is going to be tapped, and yet he does have a molly.
Bad molly, unfortunately.
Misses just for a second. They can start tapping the bomb. That's exactly what they're going to do. He has to push now, but I don't think he gets this. The lights haven't been pulled. Are not doing him any favors, but he somehow finds the first one. Can he make it 2, or is going to Kuko defuse the bomb before then?
Wow,
No,
he wins that!
Finds it. That's 4 for him on the round. Absolutely huge. And we're essentially on series point because Global Breakout, they just need one more to ensure themselves a tie.
What did I just say?
Eventually
I just said they had to enable one of those players. And what did they do? They put Ender in the rattiest rat spot that's ever been played, and he got 4 kills out of that.
Well,
540 damage from Ender that round.
Absolutely massive. Sadly, that's not been enough. Plepto overtakes Argo once again, by the way, in this race for who's going to be second right behind Akazo. And I do want to see if someone can maybe even peak 2k damage, though I think that's pretty unlikely, given that we have, at best, 3 more rounds to play.
Yeah,
Actually,
this is match point for GB, right? So
at best 2 more rounds, actually. Yeah, either LCG win 2 of their own or GB wins 1. So, well,
yeah,
I think we're peaking 1k damage or 2k damage, sadly. But let's see how many of the players in both teams can get across 1k. What do you think? Do Ender and Muse, they're 150 and 370 respective away? Do you think they can get to 1k?
I think Ender can probably. Muse, well, no, yeah, they both could. I'm pretty sure they both could, but they can only if LCG wins the next one, I think.
Okay.
They'd have to be trading out this. I don't think they're going to get it this round, right? It's just not going to
Yeah.
happen because
LCG.
they're not set up in those positions to do that damage early, right? We're going to see Argo and Plebdo play those positions, maybe Ikazo again, but we're not going to see Muse and Ender being forced to play the aggressive entries there. They're going to be playing like support with Molotovs. Pardon me, they're on attack first, so it won't be the same situation here. I think Muse did better on attack anyway. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he'll be more comfortable on attack this round.
Let me pull up the actual dpstats.com so we can see where his ADR
Yeah,
is
go for
higher,
it.
so we can confirm that. He's been
Also,
pretty evened out. His attack ADR has been 76 and defensive 64, so
yeah,
a small difference.
yeah, lower. Yeah, he was having some trouble on defense. That's for sure. This is what I was talking about earlier. I don't know if you guys caught it, but GB, they like to close out on double charges, right? I don't know if LCG has done their homework, but they should know that Global Breakout will take a double charge here. It's such an easy double charge to take. What's weird here is that they're actually opting for an open vault with an auto and an SD. There's no. They are going to close it. Okay, that makes so much more sense because that was very concerning for a second. Plebdo on a solo take, it looks like, which does make sense, but he is up against a mop in this case.
We'll see what he does. I do like the fact that he's again being just like the sneaky little rat, and well, he's known for always being enter anywhere he wants.
This
but
round is already lost. I'm calling it now. Look at Lind. Lind is not picking. They haven't called this double charge, and he's so close to Tellers right now.
That's absolutely true. There we go. He gets blown out, and he needs to get away. He somehow dodges the flashes, but Plebdo follows up. He gets the kill and the second one onto Admiral. Well, like you said, it's all falling apart for LCG and Global Breakout. They will be taking home the dub. Just need 3 more kills, 2 of which are involved. Kuko is on the flank, but his position is going to be given away in security. There we go. Musi takes him out prematurely. Now it's up to Lando and Toxic to clutch this. No utility between them as far as I can tell. And will Toxic, he has the auto, but there's no Barb to help him out. The flash comes out. Lando finds 1. The Toxic's taken out, but he still needs to find 4 more. And, well, he's not even going to get 1. That's it. That's the series. Point 1 for Global Breakout. This went on so much longer than any of us thought they would. So it was a 6-6, 6-4. Sorry, yeah, 6-6, 6-4, 7-3. Let's do some quick math. That's 12. That's 19 rounds total for GB, and that's 13 total for LCG, if I'm not mistaken. Which is, please, if we went back an hour or 3 hours back in time, and you told me that GB would win 19 rounds and LCG would win, what did I say, 13? I think I would not have believed you.
No, it was a pretty good showing from LCG. Again, like I think the takeaway for them should be, we did really well today, not hey, we lost again. You know, that should not be the takeaway.
Keep in mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Keep in mind, this is a double elimination playoff bracket. There's only 4 teams, but whoever loses against your match, so it's going to be you or Yakuza facing them tomorrow. And, well, you do have a match. Yeah, you do have a match to get ready for, so we're going to keep this very short and sweet. No interviews either.
Yeah.
Again, thank you so much for joining me. I think like it was a very informative cast today. We've all learned and siphoned so much knowledge off of you, so thank you so much for that.
Oh, thank you very much. I am very scared now to actually play the game. No warm-up now. This took so long to play, or to cast, I mean.
Oh, 20 minutes, just run a casual, get ready as much as you can, or, well, just go talk to your team. Thank you so much again for
it's my pleasure. Thank you as well.
Joining me here. It was very enjoyable. I hope we get to do this more often, especially if fellow can make it, because, well, he's a big shot R6 streamer now, and you should definitely check him out as well. This is it for this matchup. Don't go anywhere, though. We have another match coming up in about 20 minutes, and it's going to be Bingus versus Yakuza.
All right, take care, guys. See you then.
Have a good one.